So I'm getting in early with a representative.
In a century of World Cups, it's not just the football that's changed. Stadiums have gone from concrete behemoths to technological marvels, and the giant monolithic arenas help to define tournaments. Back in 1930, the world embraced its greatest spectacle for the first time. Uruguay was the host, and in just 90 days, they built a stadium that's still there today. It was a gargantuan effort to pull together the 90,000 capacity Estadio Centenario, one of only 3 venues for that tournament that would act as a monument to 100 years of Uruguayan independence. If that was the World Cup's birthplace, Mexico City's Estadio Azteca became its cathedral. Some of the World Cup's most iconic moments happened on this grass, including this, of course. Also, both Pelé and Maradona lifted the trophy in the Azteca. A bit of pub quiz ammo for you there. You're welcome. In England, there's no more special place to us than Wembley, the scene of our greatest triumph. And yes, it definitely was a goal. Some incredible stadiums across the world have hosted matches, but you don't have to have a modern-day spaceship of a ground to make it memorable. Take 2006, for example, and here. The memories of what happened at Berlin's Olympiastadion show events on the pitch can elevate a stadium in the minds of fans worldwide. But that doesn't stop us from marvelling at modern triumphs of engineering. Let's jump ahead to Qatar and take a look at this, the Lusail Stadium. This gorgeous golden bowl hosted the frankly unbelievable final in 2022. But that's not where it ends in Qatar. Take Stadium 974, for example. This place was built from shipping containers and can be taken down and built somewhere else. Mad. It's crazy to think that we've gone from building giant concrete bowls to what is basically modern art. To be fair, some concrete bowls, like the Maracanã, are art in its most flawless form. The teams and the players are why we all come, but sometimes the stage they perform on ends up being the main character. And with structures like this, it's hardly a surprise.
Oh dear. Oh no.
It's quarterfinals.
Yeah, you'd have thought, wouldn't you? They'd have done something about this, wouldn't you?
I mean, we've got to take Haaland on with this music.
It's the sort of, this is the sort of music that he thrives on. That boring ninny. Don't tell him I said that.
I don't know. How many times do we have to say it, Max?
Clearly, a lot.
Week after week after week. How many times do we have to do the same thing and say the same thing?
Yeah. I don't know.
Non-stop.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a completely new show every week.
Yeah, exactly. Fresh
the bosses
ideas.
aren't listening.
Fresh thoughts.
Fresh ideas every
new
week.
Jokes.
New jokes. We don't like anything to run too long because we know that people have a short attention span now.
If people get bored
we
of
don't
it
want to
and
run a joke.
If people
into
get bored of it and say they hate it, we immediately drop it.
Exactly. And we don't want to run a joke into the ground. We're not those kind of people.
No.
This isn't a joke.
Still
Just to be clear, this is not a joke.
This is not a joke.
This is not a joke. This is a problem we have with management. We have it with the normal music in the season, and now we have it with this silly music for the World Cup.
What even is this?
I've no idea what it is. And for some reason, I don't mind it for other sections in the show, but right now...
I'm trying to go get it, and I cannot go get it while this music...
This has to change.
And there we are, bang, finally, Again, we've improved the show by moaning.
Suddenly, do you know how I feel? Today I feel Gianni. That's what I feel. Here we go, everybody. Come on, England.
Come on, England. Come on, England.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our biggest sports radio station. It's talkSPORT. My name's Max Rushden. Alongside me, Charlie Baker. Charlie, this is just any warm-up.
This is the double award-winning, award-retired warm-up, Max, on Saturday, the 11th of July, 2026. And at 22 o'clock, it's Norway v England in the 2026 World Cup quarter-final. It's live on talkSPORT, presented by the best in the business. Forget it.
Forget about it.
Hey, what do you got? Because I got something better.
I'm walking here.
Whatever you got, I got something better. And that something better is Adrian Durham, the best in the business. Commentary from Jim, Torquay United, Proudfoot. Good luck at Brixham away today. Torquay United, Jim Proudfoot, and former England captain Stuart Psycho Pearce, the OB producer. Oh, it's Declan McCarthy.
500 miles an hour would walk 500 more to feed a man. Walk 1,000 miles to follow that should do.
Da la da.
Go get it! And then at 2 o'clock, it's Argentina v Switzerland in the 2026 World Cup quarter-final on talkSPORT. Presented by Ben, overnights, Fletcher, commentary from Ian the Duke of Knutsford Danta, and former Chelsea defender Scott Minto, the OB producer. It's Ian Danta! It's Big Ticket Live, World Cup quarter-final action you cannot afford to miss.
Morning, well done, Charlie. How are you?
I'm high on life, Max, and do you know why?
Tell me.
It's just there's like an inflatable football in the office, quite a big, oversized inflatable football, so good for keepy uppies.
Yeah,
good fun. Like you look like you can do as many as you like, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cascarino came out of the studio to go to the toilet,
Okay.
and as he came out, he went, Charlie, right? I was doing keepy up, and he went, Charlie, and did the sign for me to cross it to him.
Oh, yeah.
To Tony Cascarino, actual
exciting,
footballer.
One
Tony
of England's
Cascarino.
finest ever. One of England's finest centre forwards.
Millwall legend, Tony Cascarino. Ireland legend, Tony Cascarino. England, not picked for England, of course.
Didn't play for them, no.
Anyway, crossed it in, beautiful cross, have to say myself.
Oh, yeah.
He chested it, volleyed it back, big strike.
Yeah.
And you've never seen a sweeter strike. He still got it, Max. He said, that's the first time I've kicked the ball in 10 years.
Yes.
Cascarino, he's back.
We should do that. Someone said under in their phone, please, for 2036, and we will do the next time that Tony Cascarino kicks a ball. It's exciting. So, look, hey, Charlie, I'm in New York.
Hey, forget about it.
Forget about it. Everyone's Adrian Durham. They're all doing Adrian Durham impressions. I don't know
When you go to New York, it does feel like everyone's doing a voice. It does feel like you're in a film.
Really, yeah, but it's weird that I didn't realise Adrian was so big here. It is different to LA in that there are sort of normal people here.
Oh, yeah.
Fat people, thin people, people doing jobs.
Yeah.
It's really odd.
Going to work.
I just had a month to going to work, a sanitised job where basically everybody is just doing a podcast. That's what LA is. It's just collagen and podcasts.
Oh, nice.
But the thing is, I'm in a hotel room, and I don't know how loud I can be. Obviously, Barry's not in the room next to me, which is a great relief. But somebody else is, and it's 5:10 in the morning. So I don't want to be too noisy.
Yeah, who is the other person? Do you know? Do you know who they are?
I don't know who's in room. I don't know who's in room 1814. I don't know, but I'll check. But I'm on the 18th floor here. No, I am. my Wi-Fi clicks in every hour, every day, 24 hours. So I think at 12:22 p.m. during this show, the Wi-Fi may go down for 1 minute. Well, something to look forward to.
So there's something we need callers for. That's one thing we need callers for. 12. Do you want to be 12:22? Do you want to be co-hosting at 12:22 when Max drops off?
Yeah, I may be here, but if you'd like to co-host just for a little bit at 12:22, let us know.
I just want to tell you another story before we go into what we're going to ask people to do on the.
Okay, sure.
My wife went to a circus this week. With my daughter.
Oh, right.
And this is what sort of country we are, Max. This is why we can beat Norway. This is why we can beat Inga still Braut Haaland, sorry, at the World Cup. He takes his mum's name, doesn't he? This is why we can do it. This is what sort of country we are, how great we are, Max.
Okay, yeah.
They had a goose.
Is that it? Did it do anything?
That was trained to come out, did a couple of tricks, bowed and went off. And that is how good we are as a country.
Can the goose play right back?
We can train a goose to come out, do some tricks, bow and go off. That is how great a country. How great a country are we? 1089. We'll take those.
That is risky. Listen, well, I'll tell you how we're a great country, Charlie. Yes. And that I wish everyone equal amounts of luck in the Clacton by-election. But the fact that a bin could be an MP, that's why we're a great country.
This is why 81089. That's one thing on the text. Yeah. But also Harry Kane, obviously last week. Mm-hmm. Have we got the clip coming? Yeah, we got the clip. Everyone's heard it, but let's play it.
Jordan, my voice is gone. Hendo just fell over there. I think it's okay. Just something to do with his arm. We had to fight. We had to find something. I've just been sitting there. I can't really talk, but all the occasion, the team, everything against us.
So good. So we know the rest.
We know. I mean, that game last week, that just had everything, didn't it? I think we've completed football, to be honest. That game had everything. It had that, had Henderson getting booked and falling over and not playing. Dan Burns' big header.
Over the halfway line. Yeah. So
just
I've watched
beautiful.
That so many times.
But that interview, we want people to wish England luck in the style of Harry Kane losing his voice. So good luck, England. I really wish you well tonight. And then a score prediction. 3-1. So
03717.
And if you could apologise that you're losing your voice as well at the same time, that'd be good. So wish England luck. Wish England luck.
Style of Harry
apologise you're losing your voice, and then a score prediction on the voice notes, or you can phone him, but voice notes preferably.
Yeah, 03717 223344. Ian says, you know what day it is today, lads? It's the day the Scottish Premier Sports League Cup sectional ties begin. Never mind the World Cup. The real fit bar is back. Sat with my wife, says this one, boiling hot. She's 5 days overdue for our first child. Oh, man, in that heat.
Oh, man.
She's
I'd go
fist
in
pumping
if I
for the go-get-its. Say again. Just a chicken dance sack. Chicken dance sack, and then 18 years of pain and misery, guys. But we wish you the best of luck.
Yes, good luck.
And all human life is here. This one says, on the way to see my nan for the last time today in a hospice in Sussex. Wanted to say thanks for making the day a bit brighter with the Go Get It's. You didn't give the name, but we send you our love.
Yeah,
we send you our love. And you're very welcome to listen to this nonsense for the next 2 hours and 45 minutes. It is Max and Charlie on talkSPORT. What was the text topic? Yeah, why is this country great? Because we can train a goose.
Country's so great because we can train a goose. But also, Harry Kane impression, wishing the England luck, apologising for your voice, and then a score prediction, please.
Mark makes a good point, which is the Harry Kane impressions are going to sound a bit more like Kevin and Perry if you're not careful. So we really work on this. We don't want Kevin and Perry impressions. We want Harry Kane impressions. Colin says, do you think Harry Kane's voice will go even higher if they win tonight and then higher for every subsequent win?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very good.
It is Max and Charlie with you until 1. Ali Maxwell, one of the hosts of the brilliant England pod, will join us in just a second.
Newcastle's summer exodus is set to reach a crisis point. Sean, you'll have heard this news. Sandro Tonali, Anthony Gordon, of course, already out the door. Club captain and fan favourite Bruno Guimaraes has reportedly informed the hierarchy that he wants to join champions Arsenal, with another star player forcing his way out. Darren Bent raised serious concerns about what this loss could mean for Eddie Howe next season.
Yeah, I do feel for Eddie Howe. I really do, because again, there Bruno leaves tonight. He's obviously gone to Tottenham as well. Isaac, they just haven't been able to kind of recruit the players certainly the quality that they've lost. And you look at what they've bought some of these players for. Isaac, was it 60 million? They're selling for 120. Like tonight, they bought him for a fee. They're selling for more. So clearly, he's improving these players. But at some point, I think if Newcastle do want to go to the next level, they've got. I know it's hard with the PSR and the financial fair play, but if they do want to go to the next level and then stay there, they've got to find a way of holding on to some of these players.
Oh, look at Darren and his floral number. Watching on the smart TV, I like that. Sure. Do you have sympathy for Eddie Howe in this situation? The latest is that Bruno has agreed personal terms with Arsenal, but Newcastle's stance is that he remains not for sale.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's really tough, and the challenge that you have is not just if one of your big players goes at any football club, at any level really. People understand there's a time and a place. When two go, that can make other players a bit itchy and a bit nervy. But then if three go, all of a sudden they go, hang on a minute, who are we bringing in? And I think they're right on that cusp. I don't know their situation at PSR, but I've been through that obviously in my time at Everton, so I know how dangerous that can be. But I think losing the players of that quality, I think that's really tough on Eddie, and I think he's done a great job there. So hopefully, I mean, look, you never know on the other side of that. Good people in their recruitment there. They've shown that over the years, so they might have people lined up, don't forget. So these things can twist very quickly when you get a freshness in the camp and a newness. And
hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Can you hear me? You boys took a hell of a beating.
Are you ready? Do you know? I feel it too.
England have beaten Mexico in the Azteca. They've now got Norway in Miami in the quarterfinals. Bellingham again, and he scored again. It's 2 in a minute.
Are you ready?
2 in the middle now. Sweating towards Haaland. Erling Haaland, you beauty.
Score 7 goals for Norway in the World Cup is quite special.
Beware England, beware Erling Haaland. Kane on the turn. Oh, what a goal!
Unbelievable support.
We will go now full steam ahead to keep pushing and stay in the tournament.
Sport, Max Rush and Charlie Baker until 1. Commentary of England-Norway, 10 o'clock kickoff tonight live on talkSPORT. Wishing England good luck in the style of Harry Kane. Here's Matthew on the voice notes.
I just want to say we brought the best of the boys. Oh my God, my voice is gone. I just want to say all the best of the boys, and hope Endo's okay. And I reckon it'll be 2-1 England. England.
I really enjoyed that, Charlie.
03717 22 33 44. That means we may have peaked. That was about as good as it's going to get.
Let's bring in Ali Maxwell from the Excellent England pod, doing great stuff this whole tournament. Hey, Ali, how are you?
Can I introduce you, please, to a lump of cheddar cheese?
Ah, very nice.
Come on. It's too early for this, but come on.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I just listened to Vindaloo while shaving. I think that's about as good a way to start match day as ever.
Quite risky. Shaving.
The playlist then flipped into the Come On Eileen, Come On England remix. I can't remember what year that's from. And I know that for pretty much every commercially successful song, if you write down the lyrics and read them, they look pretty rubbish. But that one really does take the biscuit. I think they must have written that in about 2 minutes.
I think that's a talkSPORT song, actually. I think that was. I think that was talkSPORT. I think Paul and Andy were on top of the pops with the Moose.
On top of the pops.
I think they got to number 2. I think.
Stop it.
I did. I'll find out the exact. Anyway.
I can't believe, Ali, you've thrown talkSPORT under the bus like that.
What a start.
The greatest poets of our time. And there you are. So Norway today, I was thinking, look, Haaland doesn't win every game he plays in. Like, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking of this idea that we're just so terrified of this man. And of course I am. And he's really good. I don't want to poke the bear. I don't really know what we were meant to say. But, like, he doesn't win every football match. We should... That we've got. I don't want to say we should win. We probably should win, but I don't want to do anything to jinx it, Ali, in the next sort of 12 hours.
Yeah, I think we're similarly minded on that front. In that, I feel more relaxed than I should do for a World Cup quarter-final, and then instantly, as soon as I realise that, I freak out. Because that shouldn't be the case. It reeks of complacency. I worry that we're all too happy with the Mexico win, and we've all concluded that it means the lads are just absolutely bang at it, and they are mentality monsters, and they can't possibly lose, and they can handle everything. So that's my concern right now. But yeah, you're absolutely right about Haaland. He doesn't win every game. He's an amazing player, but we could be playing Brazil, and I'm sure we'd be feeling pretty scared of Vinicius Jr. and other individual talents as well. So on that front, like, I definitely think there can be a bit too much focus on the big man, as an amazing a player as he is.
I think it's a rare feeling of joy after the Mexico game. I don't feel complacent. I feel like, well, I really enjoyed that football match. That was everything I've ever wanted from a football match. You know, even getting up at 1 a.m. to watch. I mean, it was 2 a.m. in the end. To watch it, that sort of getting up in the middle of the night to go on holiday sort of feeling that it had as well was just. It was all just so brilliant. It had everything that. Just high on that. Dan Burn. Does Dan Burn has played Erling Haaland 8 times in his career apparently, and only ever let him 1 goal. Do we play Dan Burn in defence early on? And what's Norway's defence like? Do we know?
Norway's defence, not great. I mean, very much the weakest part of their team, which should give us a lot of, I guess, excitement. We've looked better going forward, haven't we? I mean, we didn't actually spend much time in in our attacking third against Mexico, but we kind of didn't mind that. It gave us a bit more space when we did attack. And we've had plenty of experience during the World Cup trying to break down teams that sit deep. So yeah, I'm feeling better when it comes to us going forward. I mean, they've conceded in every game, including against Iraq and Senegal and other teams that have, you know, less good attacks than us. So we should be feeling definitely good about hurting them. So when it comes to Dan Burn, it's such a, but like, I love this discussion. It's brilliant. I hate the stat. I hate the 1 goal conceded against Haaland. He's not the goalkeeper for a start. And even if he was, I don't think that would really hold up.
He'd just head it away. He'd just stand there, hands behind his back, heading penalties away. Yes.
This isn't like Shane Warne and Daryl Cullinan. It's not like baseball where it's 1v1 in a very, very enclosed matchup. And not only that, right, I annoyed myself by actually doing the research for this stat because something didn't smell right to me. In the 7 Premier League games that Burns played against Haaland, he's played left back. Okay. So you can't for a moment say he was man-marking Haaland out of the game in those games. So more than half of them, he played left back. And also the aggregate score in the matches, even though Haaland's only scored 1, is 16 goals to City and 7 to Newcastle. So like, other players can score. There's probably an argument you could focus too much on one player and it creates space for others. And finally, the results in those games for Newcastle and Dan Burn, 0 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats, and the only time Newcastle beat City in that time, Burn was suspended. So if that was the basis, that stat alone, to play Dan Burn because of Haaland's presence, I think that would be pretty ridiculous.
A comprehensive
I'm so
answer.
glad you did the research.
So good. Yeah, thank you.
I'm so glad you did that, because I was with you. I was going, that's not how it works. It's just not how it works. But I couldn't be bothered to do the research. So thanks for doing it. Well, left back is quite interesting, Ali, isn't it? Because Norway have Sorloth, who sort of starts, and he's a big lump, quite a good one. And then they normally bring Oscar Bob on there. So O'Reilly will probably start, but he's got two very different jobs to do tonight.
Yeah, that's right. He hooked both starting wingers off quite early in the game against Brazil. That worked quite well.
Half time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think from a couple of Norwegian football observers that I've seen in the last 24 hours, they're fairly confident that Sorloth will keep his place on the right with Bob to come off the bench for him. As you say, two incredibly different players. And Sorloth's role is unusual, really, like a kind of wide target man, essentially. He's not really a winger, and you don't really want him doing wingery stuff. So there will be a lot of long passes from the keeper targeted towards him. Now, obviously, Byrne would be the best to win those aerial duels, but actually Nico O'Reilly's 6'4", and a huge strength of his game is aerially. So it's not the case that we've got like Lewis Skelly there, for example, or Lewis Hall, where you might be a bit more worried that Sorloth's just going to win that header every time, and then you know if they get on the seconds, then we're in trouble in our defensive third. So I'm not too worried about that from an O'Reilly point of view. And then I just think there's a kind of wider point to be made about, like, of course you need to do analysis of the opposition, and of course it makes sense as much as possible to try and work out a plan to kind of balance, to counter their biggest threats and what they're trying to do. But at the same time, like, we should dominate the game. We should, like, in terms of the quality of the individual players, and probably based on the performances of the team so far, like, I would expect us to have more shots than them, have more territory than them, hopefully create more chances than them if we play our best. And so to what extent do you need to tweak your starting 11, which then might knock you off balance a little bit in your own possession and attacking play?
I agree.
O'Reilly's pretty important for the way that we play and attack, and Byrne...
We've got Jude Bellingham. We've got Jude Bellingham. Do you know there's a Norwegian phone in somewhere this morning, or a talkSPORT Norway going, oh, we've got to play Bellingham and Kane. Yeah. Oh, and Saka's probably fit. Oh, no.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Because I know from speaking to a couple of Norwegian football experts, like, there's no getting away from the fact that individual players at the back are clearly of a lower calibre than their players in midfield and in attack. So it's obvious, and they've conceded in every game. So it's not like they've been punching above their weight defensively. They've been pretty poor, and if it wasn't for the goalkeeper, they'd have been 2 or 3 down against Brazil before Haaland scored those 2 amazing goals. So like Hegem, the left centre-back, used to play for West Brom, plays for Bologna. Ayer, the centre-back, plays for Brentford. One of the full-backs plays for Wolves. Like, they're not horrendous players by any means, don't get me wrong, but they're not of the same calibre. So they're definitely going to be worried about whether Torbjorn Hegem can stop Harry Kane getting good shots off at goal. They're definitely going to be worried about whether Sander Berge at the base of midfield can track Bellingham's runs, which basically no one seems to be able to. So yeah, we've got lots to be hopeful about, for sure, and from our own point of view.
Ali Maxwell from the England Pod with us. It's Max and Charlie on talkSPORT. Paul says, where's Lars today of all days? Oh, he's on later because he's in Dallas. It's quite early in Dallas at the moment. The boss has been in touch. Hi, Liam.
Good morning, Liam.
We got to number 2 in June 2004. Come on, England. We were kept off top spot by Mario Winans. Not heard of that. Where's Mario Winans now? Paul and Andy still doing radio every day, aren't they, pretty much? Mario Winans, where are you? We made it onto top of the pops for what he says was a performance, in inverted commas. Don't tell me the Moose mimed. That was it. Don't tell me. Don't tell me who did that. It is Max and Charlie with you until 1. Ali Maxwell from the England Pod, and we'll do some more in just a sec.
I mean, as recently as 2024, Bruno Touzazol, he told everybody who cared to listen what he wanted to achieve at Newcastle.
Never said that I would like to leave. Since I signed for the club, I always said I want to put my name in the club history, and nothing changed. Nothing changed from me. With this keeping going, I still wanna win some trophy for me. When I signed for the club, I said I wanna play Champions League, and everyone said that I was crazy, and we got it. Now I wanna be in Champions League again. I wanna win something for the club. I think the fans deserve. We are worked so hard to get it, so this is still my dream.
And then a year later, Simon, they win the Carabao Cup. And Bruno says, "This is my second home. We're making history. Someday, when I leave this club, I want the fans to sing my name the way they do Alan Shearer." I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Well, look, first and foremost, ask yourself the question, why are these players suddenly all deserting the sinking ship? It's not a sinking ship, but it doesn't appear to be a particularly ambitious one. It doesn't appear to have an ownership model that everyone thought was going to change the whole direction of football. Oh, my God, we've just sold to a nation state, one of the richest nation states, and look what they're going to do to football. Well, they haven't done anything. They're going to buy everybody. They're going to buy Ronaldo. They're going to buy Messi. They're going to have this player here, that player, this player, you know, and they haven't. Yeah. They bought a bunch of players that to some extent, they've gone and made better. And these players are now doing what every player does, which is go, Liverpool.
Yes.
Oh, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, Real Madrid. And that's what Newcastle have found themselves in a position of doing. So ask yourself the question, despite the vilification of a player that 2 years ago said he wanted to stay, nothing lasts forever. He's done his 2 years. He is entitled to leave. How he leaves is the key component part of this. But also, why? Why are Newcastle now a place where people want to leave from?
Yeah.
And that's the problem Eddie Howe's got. That's the problem that Matey Boy that says that to everyone they're going to win the league by 2030.
Yeah.
Those are the challenges that they've got.
USA 94. What a summer when football became soccer in the blazing heat. It was also the tournament where fashion peaked. This, my friends, is Alexi Lalas. No, he wasn't Scottish. That's a full-blooded American right there. But in all seriousness, forget the hair. Look at the jersey. Dreamy 90s clobber. And it was everywhere. That's the legend that's Georgie Hagi of Romania, OVS, Brazilian shot stopper, Taffarel, and a Dutch guy. I mean, this was the period we were getting top quality in the Premier League too, but the national team designers raised the level even higher. The pitch was their catwalk as we got Germany, Bolivia, Sweden absolutely rocking it. The kind of kit we're shelling out for on retro sites to this day. And Spain, another beauty. 10 points if you recognise that guy. Of course, this was America, so the cheerleaders didn't want to be outdone. But in the end, two of the less is more designs made it to the final. And when Baggio blazed over, Dunga got the honours. The entire summer was an explosion of colour that would have broken Instagram. Sorry, just trying to get that Larson one off eBay. 70 quid. Bargain.
This is it, right? This is what kept us off number one in 04.
This isn't the Moose.
Yeah. This isn't. This is the Moose. This is the Moose. It was the B-side to Come On Eileen.
They gave Moose
the Moose
a solo go.
doing one of his urban licks. God, he's really good at this stuff, isn't it? Max and Charlie with you on the warm-up. Voice notes in the style of Harry Kane, 03717 223344. Do we have Sean's?
Well, let's hear Sean's.
Hi, Sean here from Worcester. Apologies, I've lost my voice from all the shouting. I really think it's going to be 2-2 tonight. Extra time. And Harry Kane's going to score a penalty in the last 5 minutes of extra time. Come on, England!
It was more so many goals.
So many goals, yeah. So what we want is
just got a crack.
Good luck, England. Good luck, England. Apologise for your voice, and then a score, but in the style of Harry Kane's voice. Cracking. Very nice.
03717 223344. Ali Maxwell from the England pod with us. Ali, we just heard there in the headlines, that Gay and Reece James and was it Declan Rice all trained with the first team. So Reece James is interesting. If he was fit, would you chuck him back in or not at right back?
I wouldn't personally. A hamstring injury, and good God, he's had a lot of them. Like, to me, that does not scream chuck him straight in from the start. I don't think at any point in maybe international tournaments are different and whatever, but I actually think it'd be almost negligent to throw in a bloke that's missed 2 weeks with whatever it was, grade 1 hamstring tear, to put him in from the start in a really intense game in the heat that's going to feel like 40 degrees. And if I may, although Reece James is an amazing player at his best, I don't think he's played very well in the last couple of months, but probably stretch it back for most of the season. Of course, the injuries just trip him up time and time again, and he just doesn't seem to have that rhythm. And rhythm is a word that Tuchel uses all the time. I personally think to chuck him in cold when he's got muscular problems, and I just, someone like Jed Spence, who, yes, he doesn't have as good club career as Reece James. And if you rank their attributes, you'd say James is better than him in many ways. But he's clearly just in better nick at the moment. And I would prefer to go into the game with him starting personally.
Which is, Thomas Tuchel said he wasn't going to take players who weren't 100% fit. He did. He did take players that weren't 100% fit, and Reece James.
He's a liar. You're calling him a liar.
I am. He's been great, isn't he? But I don't think Reece James should be there. Basically.
Yeah, and I really like Tuchel. I like the way he explains his decisions, even if I don't agree with them. But the most absurd thing he's ever said as England manager was when James got injured, and he said, "We could not have seen this coming." Hold on.
Yeah. Do you know what?
He gets a hamstring injury every 3 months on average.
On Jed Spence, I actually think he played really well when he came on against Mexico. Him and Gordon defended so brilliant on that left-hand side, but I thought he played really well. And actually, the DR Congo goal he didn't have a brilliant game against DR Congo, but the goal was not his fault, categorically not his fault, and it sort of drove me mad. People just saying he's the nearest person, therefore it must be his fault. And we have to welcome new viewers of football to World Cups, but you also, your mind goes insane. I think he's had a decent tournament actually so far. I think he can, and Noosa is good down the that is, Noosa is good, and you need somebody who's defensively, adept. And I think Spence is a smart pick there.
Yeah, I agree. And well, I guess the other option would be Ezri Konsa, who has played, albeit not for quite a few games for England at right back, maybe once or twice back in the qualifiers. But then you have to take him out of the central area, and you have to kind of rejig the whole thing. So, yeah, Spence is also interesting because he played most of his football in the last 2 seasons at left back for Spurs. And of course, the modern fullback, they've got all sorts of different jobs to do than maybe they're used to traditionally. But is that not... People now think he's just better at left back, but I think that was mostly circumstantial because Spurs' left back's been a shambles, and Udogie also has really bad hamstrings. But whenever Udogie's fit, he tends to start at left back, and Spence, if he plays, comes over to the right. So I'm still happier with him at right back than left back, despite the fact that he's played more football at left back.
What does Trevor Chalobah do, Ali? Because he's been called up and no one's mentioned it since, despite defensive crisis.
It's a great question. Not very much when it comes to contributing to the team, but probably loads behind the scenes, and he's a really nice guy, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you need those,
You need those guys. We could also do with another right back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous not to bring a right back when Livramento and James seemed like our two, our first and second choice going into the tournament. So yeah, I'll never quite understand that decision.
everyone's just sort of said, look, it is going to be hot, like 35 or something. It's going to feel like 44. But everyone's gone, well, it's cold in Norway too, so it doesn't count. Does that,
yeah.
Is that enough?
Does it work
is
like
that enough analysis on heat, or does it change how we play?
No, that's the exact right amount of analysis of the heat for this game, I think. Like, genuinely.
Oh, I'm great.
I don't know what else to say.
Same for everyone.
I don't know, because obviously we
talked about the altitude for hours before the Mexico game, and like I think the players said it was difficult, particularly. Did they say to start with, or did they say in the second half? They said it did affect them, but the game happens. That these players they're the fittest players in the whole sport. Like they can still play, they can handle it. The game maybe will look a bit slower, but it's not gonna. It's still football. They're still broadly able to do what they need to do, I think. So I'm not thinking about it too much.
Vast majority of teams left are European sides, and I just wonder if the Premier League is so strong, and the European leagues are so strong that that's what we have a real. I'm trying to think what I'm saying. If we I'm just trying to think. That it's such a positive that we're such a strong league. If we do go through this tonight and we do get Argentina, that we are that much better than them day in, day out as footballers. Does that make sense, Ali, or not?
I think it does. I don't know. This is a bad time to say this because the tournament has been more defined by superstars than any major tournament that's ever existed ever before. Definitely. But one of my roles on the England pod, as I see it, is to try and remind people and George and Dave and anyone listening that football is a team game, and teams can be good teams even with players on paper that you wouldn't put in you put fewer of the players in a combined 11, but teams can still be better. There's other things, there's 11 players on each team on the pitch, and it's about what the unit does. So I'm a little uneasy about just stacking players against each other and going, we're better. And frankly, England's history suggests that it's not about how talented the individual players are, but it's about how well they can play together.
I don't think we've ever had as good a team.
No, and I feel good about it. From this point of view,
you are, Charlie.
They do seem they seem to love each other, and they seem in great shape. And I do pretty much. I like the way that we play. I like the way that we're set up. It's not been perfect, obviously, in the tournament. Of course, it hasn't. But we're all right. We're all right.
Yeah. What are your tactics, Ali? I saw there was a great video of you, George and Dave, who you do the England pod with after the Mexico game. And it wasn't just you. I mean, Dave looked absolutely broken. It was really great. What are your tactics tonight?
Well, thank God it kicks off a little bit earlier. My tactics are barbecue food at sort of 6 to fill up, and then head to the venue where we're hosting the watch party in Bermondsey, probably for 7:38, and then just our shackles are off now. There's something. It's funny because 10 p.m. is still a pretty late kickoff time, in by comparison to games that played in England. But compared to 2 a.m., I'm just like, this is a free hit. This is going to be easy.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, look. Good luck, Ali. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate your
time.
Thanks, Ali. And
thank you.
You're a good
Absolutely
man.
Brilliant.
Yeah, come on, England. Ali Maxwell there from the England pod, which is a really good listening throughout this tournament. We'll still lose a few. It won't be like 2 a.m., but we will lose a few. I mean, the shot of that Harry Kane penalty in that front room and 4 lads just spark out on 2 sofas. Absolutely loved it. The fact they didn't even think, I'll wake them up for this Harry Kane penalty. Just let them sleep through it. It's absolutely tremendous. It is Max and Charlie with you until 1. What about all that weather we're having? We'll do that in just a sec.
I think you're underestimating Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, you can look at the figures and say, yeah, not brilliantly impressive, but every Newcastle fan will tell you he's the heartbeat of their team.
Yeah, that's Newcastle though, Jeff. Jeff, we're not Newcastle United.
Oh,
right?
Joe, don't be arrogant. Do not be arrogant, pal.
What do you mean not be arrogant? We're Premier League champions.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't want him at the club.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
Premier
saying
League champions
that I don't
now.
want him to be
You're Premier League champions now.
Exactly.
Let's come on in 12 months' time and find out if you're going to say the same thing if you're not Premier League champions then.
Jeff, of course we're Premier League champions. We just won it a few months ago. Come on, you know?
Yeah.
So you got to give us a bit of time. What I'm saying is, good player, but I don't want him to be the marquee signing. If he is the marquee signing, I'm going to be upset.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, shouldn't you be worried? You're talking about marquee signings. Aren't you concerned about financial fair play? Or the equivalent of as it is now? And you busting the rules.
Get rid of everyone you need to get rid of to make it happen. Because if you're spending 60 mil on a player, then that means people need to go as well, right? Get rid of, we've just spoken about Norgard. If you don't like him, get rid of
Trossard,
him.
Gabriel Jesus.
We're hearing Trossard. Get rid of all of them. You know, to be fair, I do like Trossard. And if it was up to me, I'd get rid of Martinelli instead. But get rid of who you need to get rid of, then we can start talking business. But this better not be the marquee signing.
I do the marquee signing, but I agree that Arsenal need a left winger. Do you know what I mean? Don't spend 80 million on Guimaraes and then you can't afford to go and buy, like, if Barcola's available, for instance, Joel, and he's worth 100. You know, you need a top left winger, don't you, on that side?
100%. And that's what I want to see. I want to see someone. Look, the reality is if Marcus Rashford was available at a good price, I would probably go for him. As long as, you know, it doesn't unbalance the team, because he's a great player. And the reason why I say unbalance the team is because, you know, you heard of the stuff at United before, how he was over there when things weren't going his way or things were a bit down. So
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Win 26 grand in your hand, courtesy of talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, we're building up to England's massive quarter-final tonight. talkSPORT have £26,000 up for grabs. That's right, Charlie. £26,000 in cash, tax-free. Is it coming home? Well, it definitely could be for you. I'm just saying this. I'm not reading it. And here is how to enter. Have you got the piece of paper,
I don't have
Charlie?
the piece of paper. No one's given me the piece of paper.
I can tell you. I can
Thanks.
tell you. If your chance to win, visit talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338 by 6 p.m. on the 20th of July, 2026. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or send your name and number by post to Comp1, PO Box 3190, Colchester, CO2 8GP, to arrive by midnight on the 23rd of July 2026. 18 plus UK residents only. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. Now let's look ahead to the latest weather over in America, all thanks to QuickFit.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit, a team selection that everyone would be happy with this summer. QuickFit, drive away happy every time.
John Ketley, Charlie, is live with the weather report, but what he wanted to do was he wanted to play Will Smith first, and then do the weather report and not talk to us at all. I don't know why, so that's what's going to happen.
Let's just hear what's going on, yeah.
Here I am in the place where I come let go.
Is that John?
Miami, the base and the sunset low.
Hi there, lads. Sorry I couldn't be with you this morning, but it's my birthday. You know, they tell me that these birthdays come along once a year, but to me, as you get older, they do seem to come more frequently than that. Doesn't change the weather, of course. I mean, the weather's going to be pretty rubbish around the Gulf of Mexico too. There's been a new area of thunderstorms affecting the southwestern part of the Gulf, the southern states, and that's the pattern we've got for the rest of the weekend as well. Now, Miami obviously is always prone to get some downpours, some thunderstorms. The temperature's hovered about 34 degrees there for the past month, and every now and again we get these heavier showers or downpours, but we're okay in Miami because we've got the roof. So although temperatures will be in the low 30s and it will feel very humid, that air conditioning is going to help, and there are storms around, but we should be okay with the roof coming over. Just a quick look to the match between Argentina and Switzerland. 33 degrees in Kansas City, so some really heavy downpours to begin with, but they should clear away for the match. No sign of any hurricanes at the moment, thank goodness for that. But as you know, the weather's been pretty inclement in different parts of North America over the past 3 or 4 weeks, and that's the way it's going to continue. Speak to you tomorrow.
Happy birthday, John Catley. I like that he refuses. I'm not doing this on my birthday.
Not my birthday, of course not.
Happy birthday, John Catley. I tell you who is going to do it anyway. What about all this weather we're having? Nigel Adderley. Here we go.
Come on, let's go.
Hey, Nigel. Love to Nigel.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Love to Nigel.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Excited about the game, Nigel?
Well, I'm not English as such, so I can be fairly ambivalent. But my family all consider themselves English, and they are very excited.
What, you Nigel Welsh?
Where are you from, Nigel?
Well, I'm Welsh, so
Welsh. Okay.
Come on, Wales.
You want us to lose?
Not in it.
You want us to lose?
No. Didn't say that.
Well, you can say that. A lot of Welsh people do.
No, look, having covered England for talkSPORT, I actually enjoy covering them and wanted them to do well. So I'm sort of in a strange situation where if they win, then great. My family will be happy. You'll all be happy. Everyone at talkSPORT will be happy. But if they lose, I won't lose any sleep over it.
Why do you hate England so much, Nigel?
Yeah, let's have a phone. Why do you hate England? Yeah.
Do you know what? There is a WhatsApp group. Barry Glendenning's in it. Bastard Jim, our friend, and a lot of quite high profile Celts. And it is just they hate watch England. The agony and stress in that WhatsApp group as England go further in a tournament. One day I'd love them to just say, here are all the screenshots. Here you go. Anyway, come on. Let's play weather we're having. Okay, here we go, Nigel. We got some new music for today because we just like to mix things up. So here we go, Nigel.
Okay, the rules are as follows: 5 iconic World Cup games. You have to tell us the temperature. Direct hit. John Catley has dominated with a direct hit the past few weeks. You get 3 points. Yeah. If you're closest to it, you get a single point. No John Catley this week, of course. Another air show clearly has taken his time, along with the birthday.
Loves an air show,
Matt's against Charlie. Yeah. That side hustle he's got with the air shows, no one else is getting anywhere near it.
No Catley, no air show, they say. No Catley, no air show.
Anyway, let's start. 1974, West Germany against Poland, effectively a semi-final in the second group stage in Frankfurt. And it was decided by 1 goal from Gerd Müller.
Halbbein, Bonhoff, volle Karne, Miller, goal.
Give it a bit more, mate.
Give it, yes, goal.
He was clearly the East German commentator who didn't want them to win.
What was the time, please, Nigel?
It was, well, I will tell you, this kickoff was delayed due to weather conditions. It was due to be in the afternoon, but it kicked off early evening, and I can give you a bit of a clue. There were fire engines on the pitch to get rid of all the water.
Oh, wow. That's too much.
Really hot water, Charlie.
Who's first, Nigel? Is it me? Or...
Yeah, you go first, Charlie.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm going to say 22 degrees.
I'm going to say 21 degrees.
14 degrees Celsius.
No.
Yes, come on.
1-0 to Rushden.
Yeah. That was the World Cup, of course, where it absolutely hosed it down for 3 weeks. Okay, very different weather conditions here in Bilbao. The first game for England in the 1982 World Cup. Of course, they could end up playing France in this competition.
Keegan was injured.
They played France in their opening game, and they had the perfect start.
Already the French marking up, man for man. Mariners on the near post. Butcher has pushed well forward. There's a header in there, and a great chance for the first goal, and it's there. Brian Robson.
Whoa, what a player.
Brian Robson.
27 seconds, but what was the temperature?
27 seconds.
Temperature there was... Oh, I've played in Bilbao. Blimey, it was hot, I'll tell you that. 31.
30.
Charlie.
30.
Well, it was hot. Paul Mariner was a friend of mine. He lost 17 pounds in that game. It was 33 degrees.
Oh, 2-0.
Yes, come on.
Paul Mariner. What a player.
Yeah.
Absolutely great play. Great man as well. 1978.
A legend, Paul Mariner.
Absolutely. Let's go back to Scotland's greatest moment in the World Cup, arguably. Scotland against Holland in Mendoza. Winter World Cup, of course. And that goal from Archie Gemmill.
Gemmill. Good play by Gemmill. And again. 3-1. A brilliant
just love old
goal by this hard little professional.
Yeah.
David Coleman at his finest.
Yeah, Coleman.
Yeah.
Mendoza. What time was
Charlie?
Time was kick-off, Matt? Nigel, please.
It was an early evening kickoff, but it was in the winter.
Okay, yeah, sure. 12 degrees.
That's a great guess. That's really... I reckon you might have hit the jackpot there. 11 degrees.
It was 11 degrees Celsius. Direct hit.
5-0 up. He's 5-0 up.
Absolutely. This is glory. This is an exhibition.
And well, I can still win. I need 2 direct hits to win.
I might become the weatherman on the BBC News after this.
Amazing. Is John Ketley going to be a mainstay through the new season? Can't wait for him to tell me the weather conditions before.
Good feature.
Might be a good feature. Might be a good new feature.
Showers moving from the west into the east, and that's your weekend forecast. I'm good at it, you see.
Thanks, Max. And we look ahead to the weekend now with Sheila. Sheila, what have you got for us?
Well, thanks so much, Charlie.
There's a bucket and spade competition this weekend.
Hey, final one. Here we go, Nigel.
No, we have 2 more to go.
2 more.
And they're both quarterfinals. And just going back to John's recording there, classic weather intonation right throughout that. We could have been watching really on TV in 1987. Right, 1970. It's quarterfinals, of course, involving England. England against West Germany in Leon. 2-0 up, 20 minutes to play, and then this happened.
Senegal number 3. There's Sailor. Sailor! I've done it!
So what time was this? Time was it?
This was a 12 noon kickoff in Leon in Mexico. England 2-0 up. Alf Ramsey took off Bobby Charlton.
Oh, come on, Alf. He's got to go. He's got to go. Ramsey out.
What does he ever do?
34 degrees.
32 degrees.
38 degrees, 100 Fahrenheit.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
6
and no water breaks.
Thrashed.
Quick games. Quick game's a good game.
Okay, come on.
We're late for the news for this silly competition. Here we go.
Another quarter-final. And I was at this one in Samara in Russia, England, Sweden, and Dele Alli scoring the winner to send England through.
4 to pick out in the middle now. He's resisted the temptation. In he set from Lingard and powered into the net by Dele Alli. England are on their way.
28.
27 degrees.
Direct hit for Charlie. 27 degrees Celsius.
Consolation.
6-3.
A consolation.
What a classic game. Thank you, Nigel.
Love to Nigel.
Cheers, guys. See you tomorrow.
That was talkSPORT's weather update. Thanks to QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit. Your car's star player you can always rely on this summer. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
More England next with the Racing Post Mark Langdon. It's Max and Charlie here till 1.
because Infantino, though, Simon, has said, yes, I got a call from Trump on Balogun.
Yeah.
They have allowed themselves to be boxed into a ridiculous corner, haven't they?
Well, it's one thing players cheating on a field, but when the people that are supposed to uphold the game ignore the integrity of their own positions to damage the authenticity of what people might be watching, and challenge the legitimacy of it by allowing one set of group of people to have an advantage and not on others, you should start worrying about the existential threat that has to the game and start worrying about what's happening to the football and where it's going next and what will happen to it next.
Because if the Balogun situation did exist, and we never heard of a call going in from Trump to Infantino, the Quanta 2-match ban
would be less controversial.
Would be much less controversial. It would almost come and go.
But again, we've got to distill it backwards, I think. If you sit there and you say, why is there no process available to rescind a red card? Why would there not be one? What is the logical thinking? Maybe FIFA can explain to us why it was necessary for the Trump regime to instigate some thinking into FIFA that should have been there in the first place. It shouldn't require Trump to be involved in the conversation. It should have been a simple appeal from, and by the way, US soccer would have been all over this. It wasn't just Trump that did it.
Scotland don't go to World Cups very often. One of the times they did was in 1998. Tony Blair wasn't long into his tenure as Prime Minister, and Bewitched were at #1. Under Craig Brown, Scotland's route to France 98 was a relatively straightforward one, finishing second in their qualifying group behind Austria, but crucially ahead of Sweden. Their place was secured in October 1997. Fast forward to the following June, and there was a shock omission from Brown's World Cup squad, with talkSPORT's very own Ali McCoist left out entirely. 35 years old at the time, he'd scored 15 for Rangers that season. McCoist would describe being left out as the biggest disappointment of his career, and he's still not got over it.
Absolutely battered.
Craig Brown would later describe that decision as a huge regret and apologised. The tournament itself was a celebratory one off the pitch. No Scotland, no party after all. On the pitch, though, it was pretty uninspiring. Scotland opened the tournament against defending champions Brazil. John Collins scored an equaliser from the penalty spot before a Tommy Boyd own goal cruelly snatched what would have been a famous point. Scotland did draw their next game against Norway with an impressive effort from Craig Burley, meaning they then needed to beat Morocco to have any chance of reaching the knockout stages of a major competition for the first time ever. Expectation was high, but Scotland lost 3-0. Among the goals, Jim Leighton unfortunately lobbing himself after palming a point-blank shot into his own net. Scotland's World Cup song Don't Come Home Too Soon by Delamitri ringing in their ears, the Tartan Army made their way home not knowing they wouldn't be back at the World Cup for another 28 years. C'est la vie. And that's the best French 90s pop Scotland World Cup outro line you'll see or hear in any coverage ever.
And morning all, it is Max Rushden and Charlie Baker with you on the warm-up until 1. Gita says there's nothing more joyous as listening to pre-England match giddiness. Lots of love. Good luck to both England and Norway from Denmark, says
nice.
Gita. 8:89 at Max Rushden at Baker's tweet. We are here until 1 this afternoon. Commentary, of course, of England versus Norway in the quarter-final of the World Cup tonight. Coverage starts at 8. Adrian Durham's your host for that. Jim Proudfoot, Stuart Pearce, your commentary team. Kick-off at 10. Let's do some England then with Racing Post Mark Langdon, who joins us now. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Mark.
Hi, Charlie, you okay?
Yeah, we've got some music for Mark.
We do. Theme tune for Mark Langdon. Here we go.
Here it comes.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
Calling through the faraway towns. Now war is declared and battle come down.
Mark
Langdon calling.
It's good, isn't it?
Do you live by the river, Mark?
Not too far from the sea,
okay.
we'll have to go sea rather than river.
Okay.
Do you know what? Should we start with do a little bit on Spain, Belgium? For Duracell's Extra Mile. I mean, Mikel Merino, I am loath to use the word clutch, Mark, because I'm a 47-year-old Englishman, but I think that is the right phrase.
And you are in New York, Max, so it's a very basketball...
I'm in New York, he's a clutch. And he's a clutch player.
The king of clutch is Jalen Brunson, who's the king of New York.
Right?
So you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought as much.
Yeah, I think he's sort of become the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, really, of the kind of that Spanish squad. You chuck him on and you feel like you're going to get a goal out of him, impact off the bench all the time. I think it's really interesting that he was sort of one of the first names in the squad, if not on the team sheet, if that makes sense, because the manager, De La Fuente, always knew that he offered something very different to the technical players in that midfield, and there are a lot of them. But Merino suffered with his injuries this season, was like basically told, early on, as long as you're fit, you're coming. He hasn't got the technical ability of Pedri or Olmo or, Fabian Ruiz, for example, but he's just got that different profile of player in that he wants to get forward. He wants to make those runs beyond the striker. He's decent in the air. I know that the goal wasn't a header, but he is capable of doing that. And he just sniffs out opportunities. And I'm not even sure you can teach that kind of element.
You can't teach that kind of element because Mark will never be able to tell us. Are Spain boring, Max? Is it boring to watch?
Question.
Are they just really brilliant so it's boring? But you can't get the ball off them, so you can't score against them. I mean, obviously Belgium scored last night, but that's how they're winning, isn't it? Is they've only let in one goal in the whole tournament because you can't get the ball from them.
Yeah, their midfield is brilliant, and I think the France game is so fascinating because obviously most people who play Spain go, look, we're not going to have the ball a lot because we've got to defend so brilliantly.
Yeah.
And then you let Spain have the ball. But France aren't like that. France will want to have the ball. And also France's attack is just unbelievable. It's like a brilliant
game. It's a brilliant semi-final, isn't it? Yeah.
And it doesn't mean it will be a great game of football, but you do think that Spain will have to... Spain won't just be able to keep the ball, but it's hard to get the ball off Rodri. Do you know what I mean? Like, he played so well yesterday.
He's amazing.
I know a couple of Belgian fans who are sort of frustrated with quite how little they did, but you can't do anything if you don't have the, that is a thing. Like, you don't have it. So what are you meant to do if you don't have it?
So who goes and gets the ball for France? Dembele? Who goes and gets the ball for France?
Well, look, their midfield is just a two, isn't it? It's Rabiot and Kone played in the quarterfinal, and that looks more balanced than Tchouameni. But what they have is they just have four unbelievable attackers, right? And so, because France actually in the last, who did they beat? Morocco. Like, they weren't amazing in that game.
No.
But one of the cliches about World Cups is, it's moments, isn't it? So moments players, like Bellingham is a moments player, right? Mm-hmm. So like he's not necessarily being amazing for 90 minutes, although he's pretty good against Mexico. But like, there were just moments where he just goes, okay. And if you have Mbappe and you have Dembele and you have
Elise in the form of his life, just incredible,
unbelievable. And you have Doué, and then off the bench you have Barcola and Cherki. Then just sort of at some point one of them will do something great, right? And so, but Spain have the midfield to stop them having the ball, right? So that is, how that is set up, I think is really, really
No one's had a really good go at France yet, though, have they? No one's sort of gone at them. Have you got? No one's gone at their defence or
Norway B team did. Norway B had a go. and actually looked quite good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Norway.
Yeah, I'd
A.
have liked to have seen. I'd like to see that. Seems mad now that we didn't see that Norway team be France. But didn't need to. So Norway are in the quarterfinals. So.
We might still, depending on.
Can they play their B team tonight? Do you think we'll see that team tonight?
I hope so. We're looking for waiting for Mark Langdon, who's disappeared. After your excellent question, but we do. Let me just do some sponsors. I'll do this bit, Charlie.
Okay,
and then we'll come back to you in 1 second. That was brilliantly done by me and Charlie. Duracell's Extra Mile.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
So we did want to do something else on the text. We've got Harry. We will keep taking your Harry Kane voice notes.
Yeah, of course.
But the Norwegian, the pedant of the World Cup so far, when they cut to the Norway fan and everyone's doing the row, it's all just we're just having a good time, guys. We're just doing the row, and he just sat there, arms folded, not interested because it was not historically accurate. Because when the Norwegians, when the Vikings came over. They
sailed
didn't row.
They sailed in. They didn't row in. Yeah.
They sailed in, and so he pointedly refused to do it on the basis of historical accuracy, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Charlie. I'm here for that sort of pedantry.
I refuse to. If you ever do a play or a musical, the last matinee on the Saturday. You normally finish on a Saturday. The last matinee on a Saturday is known as the matinee where you can mess around. You can do bits. You can muck about a bit, do funny stuff with the props. I refuse to join in with that, Max. You may be surprised to hear that from me. I want to do a solid show.
I am amazed.
I refuse to join in on those.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this properly?
I don't want to mess about. I want to just do the show.
Why don't you do your work? So
I refuse to join. I refuse to join in. There. So when did you refuse to join in?
I was out with. We took the Guardian Football Weekly to Austin, Texas, to do South by Southwest, and here is where I pointedly refused to join in.
Okay, yeah.
Is Brendan Hunt from Coach Beard from Ted Lasso?
Oh yes, yeah.
So we do the live show, and that's fun. And afterwards, he's like, "Should we go for some barbecue?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll go some barbecue." So go for some barbecue. And he says, "Oh, go and get let's get a beer." And he comes back with like 5, not a shot of tequila, but like a tumbler. Of tequila.
Yeah, sure.
And he's quite famous, so you're like a bit under pressure.
Yeah.
But I'm not a tequila guy, and everyone just downs the hat. And I just hold out and say, "Look, I'm really sorry. If one of my friends bought me this, I'd be furious with them, and I can't treat you any differently." And I went up and down the queue of this barbecue joint at like 1 PM, and eventually some poor girl in the queue was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll have a tumbler of tequila." But yeah, we'll definitely do that when you pointedly refuse to join in. 81089 at Max Rushden at Baker's Tweet. Live commentary of England versus Norway tonight at 10 o'clock. We'll get Mark Langdon back in just a second from the Racing Post, and we'll do some England.
We all expected, okay, we need to beat Croatia by 3 goals. We need to go and beat Ghana by 3, and then we should beat Panama by 5. We should beat Congo by 5. What's it like in a tournament? It's not always the case, is it?
No, definitely not. It's funny when I see, the betting, things, before the game, and I'm thinking this is not what we expect, on the pitch. I know that England are favorite against Norway, but when you look at Norway, they look really, really strong, as a unit, as a team. Of course, they have weakness, but England must be aware that if they don't get the position of the ball in this game, and this is where I agree with Troy Deeney. For example, I think with the player they have, England, they should be more confident with the ball. They should show more commitment with the ball, and composure as well. And this is where, something is missing.
Yeah. Well, we shall see if we can show that. I mean, if you look, on paper.
I'm just sorry to disturb you, Jeff, but for this game, England against Norway, I'm just wondering, if Norway get the ball, is it what England wants into this game? Waiting, sit back, trying to play in counter-attack, or try to get the ball, the position of the ball, and try to conduct and manage, this game. So this is, for me, one of the key of this game. Yeah. Are you going to react with the ball and without the ball?
I mean, it's interesting because Norway had a lot more possession of the ball against Brazil than most people would imagine they would do.
Although the tactics of Manchester United, did he say leave them with it? Yeah. I don't think we should do that. I think we should go after them. I really do.
Yeah, pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Text from Ryan. He said, Bellingham's been very good, but I think Arsenal's Morgan Rogers should get a chance in the next game. Ryan, dream on.
130 million, please.
Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes is going there.
Cash.
I just don't see Rogers going there as well.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Matt's been in touch, says, Max, that tequila story was lovely and perfectly summed you up for good and bad. Good show, guys.
Thank you, Matt.
Altitude Grannies.
Yeah, that was a good game, wasn't it? Wow.
It really was.
What a game.
Was that a one-off, or do you think that's got 5 years?
I don't think it's got legs. I think the weather game might have legs.
Yeah, I don't know where the game might be good. It's Max and Charlie with you until 1. Mark Langdon is with us from the Racing Post. Mark says, different Mark says, has Langdon nipped off some Honey Nut Cheerios? Don't cross the streams, Mark. But we've got you back, Mark, and let's do some England. Yeah. How are you feeling about England-Norway? You're on the phone like a 1980s
like this.
Radio 2 commentary.
Can you say slippery little eel?
Yeah, slippery little eels. Yeah, it does feel a bit sort of like a 1980 sort of European Cup tie. I'm fairly confident about England, and I know that there'll probably be non-English people, sort of shaking their fists and sort of talking about the arrogance. But look, it's a game England should win. They have got a better team overall than Norway. I think sort of the heat of Miami would have been a problem potentially against, say, a South American team or one that likes to keep possession and you're kind of chasing them around like Spain. But Norway's football is fairly similar to England in that regard. So, it's the same for both sides. Obviously got to stop Haaland. But, I mean, player for player, England have got a better team and therefore should be confident of getting through, I would say. But Norway have surprised me so far in this tournament. I didn't expect them to reach the quarterfinals. I thought it was kind of just the Haaland show. There have been some other players that have backed him up, and it's been different players at different times, whether that's Nusa or maybe Oscar Bob off the bench. I think Odegaard has improved as the tournament's gone on as well. But, England have got better players, in terms of all over the pitch, I think, really.
Yeah, and Berg's been good as well. We're not going to have that. How do you think Norway will set up? I mean, will we have conversations at 0-0 half-time going, we're struggling to break down a low block? Are we back to a low block chat, or do you think they'll be more expansive than that?
I think Norway will play sensibly, and because of the heat, you're not going to be able to be pressing the ball for 90 minutes. But I don't think Norway have played defensively in any of their games so far. So I wouldn't expect them to retreat against England. They were, I'd say as front-footed as what Brazil were. For instance, in the last round, the reserves played against France, but even then, it wasn't a team that was set up to defend. Now, I think they see their strengths is in quite obviously, in that forward line, and the best chance they've got of winning this game is to get Haaland into it, and the way to do that is to get progress the ball down the flanks and get crosses into him. So I actually think if they do play with a really low block, that's to England's advantage because it means that Haaland is less likely to be involved in the game.
Let's talk about the arrogance of England fans and that attitude that we have. I don't think we have that anymore. I think it's just pride now. I think we used to have that because we thought we could just cheer the lads over the line and use good old-fashioned English grit to do it when we didn't have the players to do that. But I feel like now we do have a team full of players and a squad full of players who are exceptional footballers and play in a very, very hard league to win, and a lot of our players have won that league, and so I think we are good enough now to be able to carry that amount of pride and that attitude as fans. No, I agree. I mean, I think there's a difference between sort of confidence and arrogance, and maybe there was an arrogance if you think to those kind of early 2000s when rarely did the team actually perform and even reach kind of the stages of tournaments that maybe England fans felt like they should do. In more recent competitions, they've reached World Cup semi-finals, they've reached 2 Euro finals. I mean, I think there has to be a legitimate confidence behind that. This tournament has not gone according to plan, I think, in terms of the way they would have expected to play throughout it. But the second half against Croatia was fantastic. They showed a completely different side away to Mexico in the last round. And even against DR Congo, I think when you look at that game sort of now and take the emotion out of it, like the first 15 minutes or so, maybe that first quarter was bad. But they chased the game fairly intelligently after that and, deserved to win even if the goals came fairly late. So, I mean, I would be confident of coming through. And I think there is a difference, you're right, Charlie, between, just blind arrogance and sort of confidence with evidence behind it.
Do you think, I wonder if I was... In the sort of immediate aftermath of the Mexico game, when we were all just exhausted, everyone was exhausted. It was the middle of the night in the UK. The players were exhausted. We're all just going like, and for a couple of days, I thought you're gonna feel like that was it in a way because it was just such a sensational night and it had everything that to get yourself back up for a game might be tricky. But because they've had enough time, I wonder if maybe this isn't how elite sports people think at all, because, they're always up for it. But I feel like the time that has passed means they can be fresh for this game.
I agree. I think had it been a kind of, Saturday, Wednesday turnaround like you've got for, say, the quarterfinals into the semi-finals, I think that would have been very difficult, both on an emotional level, but also just on, just in terms of how much, literally kind of energy they had to to be able to run and chase a game because they will have been just exhausted from playing with 10 men for such a long period in difficult conditions. So I think like a week's break should be long enough. I know Tuchel was saying that certainly immediately afterwards he had no interest in watching some of the World Cup matches straight after that. But no, I agree. I think there's long enough. And Norway have also been through those emotional sort of roller coaster. And, for them to reach the knockout stages was a big deal. Mm-hmm. Then to win a first knockout game was massive. Now they've kind of beaten Brazil. And that meant a lot to them. You saw after the game, just, I felt there was as much sort of pride and as what England felt in beating Mexico away. So I think that would be the same for both teams as well. I don't think either side has got any kind of real excuses coming up here. It's just going to be who plays better on the day.
Who turns up, because Brazil didn't turn up, did they? That was the thing. So it was,
No, I think Brazil were, that game against Morocco on the opening night, I think showed what Brazil, or on the opening weekend, showed what Brazil were kind of lacking, really. And they never really looked like recovering from that. They were able to beat poor teams just because of the sheer quality they had going forward. But it wasn't a team, and it didn't really work in midfield.
Who wins it for us tonight, Mark?
I think just going to be obvious here, Max, and it's going to be Bellingham and Kane that are the difference makers. They've been fantastic. So, they've both turned up in this tournament. They've both played absolute sort of peak of their powers. Interestingly, Charlie was talking about the Premier League and how difficult it is. Do just wonder, the two players that haven't played in the Premier League this season. Kane had a nice rest towards the end of the Bundesliga campaign. He was sort of nursing an injury, whereas we'd known before when he was in the Premier League, he was often playing through those injuries. Bellingham and Real Madrid were, it was a poor end to the season for them. I think they were going through the motions. You've seen Mbappe turn up as well, and I think Vinicius did for Brazil. So I do wonder about what was going on really at Real Madrid for the last couple of months. But
and all the Arsenal players look absolutely broken. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard, isn't it? They've had no rest, so hopefully it's those two that really, prove to be the difference tonight.
Good stuff, Mark. Thanks for coming on,
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, guys.
Mark Langdon there from the Racing Post. Charlie, on what did you? This is an amazing text on not joining in. 2 years ago, this text says you read out messages about people no longer with us who you would want to share the football with. You very kindly read out a message about my father and the footballer of Lewes. He says on a stag night for Mark Birch, Oliver Reed's brother-in-law. Oliver Reed, imagine being on a stag do with Oliver Reed. He said, after Oliver Reed downed a yard of ale, right? I refused to down my yard of ale. Oliver Reed called me a bleeping bleep. He then downed my yard of ale. He was the wild man that everyone imagined. I would not be designed.
If we get to the final, if we win the final, Max will down live on air.
I will not down a
yard of ale.
I won't. It's
half a yard.
Absolutely stupid amount of beer to put in your body without putting the glass down. I'm 47.
Okay, I will down. If we win the World Cup on air, I will down a yard of ale.
You're on air.
Have
you ever done that before?
No.
Have you done it before?
No, but let's find out. What a great thing.
Silly. I think it's a really silly promise.
I've said it.
There's probably some laws about downing 2.5 pints of alcohol on air.
What if it's the So Good lager from talkSPORT and the
right? I would say this,
whatever
Charlie,
that is.
I wouldn't do lager. I would choose something a bit less fizzy.
Something flat. Needs to be flat, doesn't it?
I would see. Unless I've never had a pint of talkSPORT. Maybe it is flat as a pancake, but I would choose a pint of bitter. Is there a talkSPORT bitter?
Well, let's find. Well, a lot of people on talkSPORT who are bitter. Tell you that, Max.
Do you imagine being on a stag day, turning up, and then you're sharing a room with somebody you don't know. You walk in, you go, "Hi," and it's Oliver Reed. And you're like,
okay, buckle up.
Get my heads on. This is from Joe, Liverpool fan in Birmingham. He says, "Morning, lads. I think the subject might be reasons you hate Norway, but he said, I took my ex-missus to Tromsø in Norway 19 years ago for her birthday to see the Northern Lights. Nice. I reckon if the Norwegians stick to their native diet during camp, they'd all have dodgy guts by the 20th minute. Bloody awful trip. I got pooed on by several huskies on an excursion that cost a bomb, but was essentially a torture trip." From Joe.
Your Norway experiences, is that what we want?
yeah. Reasons you hate Norway.
Wow. What a shame. They always seem like a nice bunch of people.
Well, they seem all right to me. We've got Lars coming on in a bit.
Yeah, I like Lars.
But look, if you've had a terrible time in Norway, it's rare you can do the text topic. Have you ever had a terrible time in Norway? So now is the time to do it. 8:10-9 at Max Rushden at Baker Street. We'll do some Wimbledon. It is the women's final today, men's final tomorrow. We'll do some rugby as well in just a second. Max and Charlie here till 1.
Are France that good, or have they been tested yet?
I think probably a little bit of both. I think they are that good. I think they are, because they showed second half what they can do in tight spaces and everything. But I think there needs to be a moment where they will inevitably come up, probably against Spain, hopefully against England, where with their teams, more danger lies ahead. But they kind of, I think it was quite simple for France today.
Mate, they're coasting to the semi-final of the World Cup.
Yeah. Well, they're a good side though. They're a good side. They've got the best player in the world.
Do you know what I like about France? And it's a bit of a throwback. The forwards, when they get the ball, you see a lot of players, number 10s or midfielders, they'll get it and they'll pass it out wide and they'll come back and they'll go out the other side and then you might try and get to the byline. When France win the ball, they stick it into the front three or front four, and they run at you like through the middle of the park, and they just drive with the ball, a bit like what Gaza used to do. And then the game just opens up, and you're looking at it going, as a defender, I'm watching the Moroccans, they're going, how do you defend that? Well, you've got 3 people running off the ball, and then you've got the player with the ball running at you, straight at you. The second goal they score is just like them just going, well, I'm just going to run through you.
Well, it was 2-0.
Hard to defend again.
It could have been 4 if Mbappe scores that. JP had a chance at the end there, and brilliant, gets got on his left foot and then scuffs his shot. And in the end, it was comfortable for France. They really didn't break a sweat. I don't remember their keeper having anything to do at all. There might have been a couple of crosses. I don't remember it. But, yeah, they're that good, mate. And I think they've got a little bit of a fear factor about them because everyone knows how good they are going forward. You cannot allow, they're 2 wide men, to run at your fullback 1v1. You can't allow Elise to get on the turn. Even in tight areas, he'll let the ball run across him and he'll turn, he'll flick, and he'll play balls in. And you've got Mbappe, the best player in the world, up top.
When you think about some of the stadiums that have hosted games in the World Cup, sometimes it's hard not to be completely overawed. But what's the biggest? One thing we have to be clear about is that older stadiums will have had higher capacities when it was standing only. A good example of this is the old Wembley. For the final in '66, the capacity was 125,000. But that was later reduced to 100 when it was converted into an all-seater in 1990. Another example is this, Mexico City's Estadio Azteca. Back in '86, it's estimated around 115,000 people watched Argentina beat West Germany to win their second World Cup. Essential modernisation so it could be used in the 2026 tournament reduced it to 83,000. You can't talk about old stadiums with high capacities without mentioning Brazil's Maracanã. Some say the jewel in football's crown. In the 2014 World Cup, its capacity stood at just under 79,000. But back in 1950, well, it wasn't official, but estimates believe 210,000 people came to this place for a winner-takes-all match between Brazil and Uruguay. That's still the world record attendance for a live football match, and let's be honest, it's not likely to be beaten anytime soon.
Morning all, Max Rush and Charlie Baker with you until 1 on the warm-up on talkSPORT, world's biggest sports radio station. Commentary of England-Norway tonight in the quarter-final of the World Cup. It's just fun to say it, Charlie. You have to get giddy with nerves. Oh, come
These
on.
are the days, Max. These are the days we dream of. You dream of being here today, ready to watch England with this team, this squad tonight, taking on the best in the world. Brilliant.
Yeah. When France beat Morocco, and it's just so easy. I was like, what's that like? What is that like? Just
when it's so easy,
easy,
It might be easy tonight. You never know.
Could be. This text says, just came back from a fishing trip to Bodø in Norway.
Oh, sounds good.
The immigration at Oslo was a nightmare.
Oh.
Total chaos. The apartment stunk of rotting fish. The Norwegians all convinced they're going to win easily. On top of that, it was not dark at night. I mean, grow up. So,
not dark at night would be...
not dark at night.
That is, yeah.
8:89. Reasons you hate Norway. It's rude to say. Other shows, it fits better for other shows, doesn't it?
It feels like it would fit better on a different station in this building. But, let's carry on.
Probably right. Maybe you'll get a gig on that. Anyway, let's do some rugby. It is the Nations Championship. England playing Fiji just after 2 o'clock today. Alfie Reynolds, our rugby reporter, is going to watch that. Hey, Alfie.
Hey,
okay?
Alfie.
Hi, Max. Hi, Charlie. How are you both?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Steve Borthwick leads this, doesn't he? Keeps losing.
Yeah, massive pressure, I think, on England today. It's amazing, isn't it? If we wind the clocks back to one game into the Six Nations at the start of this year, England were on an 11-game winning streak. It looked like Steve Borthwick had cracked it. It was an England team on the up. And since then, they have lost. They come into this, haven't won since. So I think massive pressure on England. They'll be the favourites to win, but Fiji, really tough opposition. So I feel like we've been here before, in all honesty, Charlie, with Steve Borthwick and England. Just when you think they're about to deliver, again, they then kind of swing themselves into a crisis. So tough game for them today, really tough game.
Can I ask a question, Alfie? And I'm not saying I'm not totally across this, but can you tell me what the Nations Championship is?
Yeah, do you know what? It's a totally fair question, Max. And I think everyone, like the tennis at Wimbledon, rugby, anything else going on at the moment, accepts that it is the backseat to the Football World Cup. But even so, I think there's probably a lot of people that this may have passed them by. Basically, the Nations Championship is they've reworked the international fixtures. So normally this summer, if we use England as an example, traditionally, England would go to, say, South Africa and they would play a 3-match series, or Australia, New Zealand, wherever it might be. That's no longer the case. This summer, they played South Africa last week and lost. They play Fiji today, and then they go to Argentina next weekend and play there. And then when it comes to November, the usual international window in November, they will then play basically the teams in the Southern Hemisphere they haven't played in the summer. So Australia, New Zealand. They've put Japan in the Southern Hemisphere. Let's just ignore that kind of geographical point for a moment. What all of that means is it then builds up to a finals weekend at the end of November. So you'll have the number one team in the Northern Hemisphere taking on the number one team in the Southern Hemisphere. I don't know if I've done a good job of describing that, but hopefully it kind of gives you at least a rough picture of what's going on here.
Yeah, I think there's too much. I think it's too much rugby, Alf. I mean, it's good. It's good they're doing it, but it's such a hard game to play physically that surely they need like a fallow summer sometimes so the players can all sort of get better and feel okay physically.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Mara Itoje, the England captain, has been rested this summer because of the amount of rugby that he's played over the last couple of years, which is a bit of an indictment on the Nations Championship, isn't it? When England are literally resting their captain for the start of this. I suppose what World Rugby may say is there's not any extra games because of this. What there is, though, is the extra travel. And it is, let's be honest, ludicrous that England had to travel down to South Africa to play a game last week. They've had to travel back to the UK to play a game against Fiji. That's happening in Liverpool today, by the way. The kind of quick admin on that was Fiji actually didn't want their games in Fiji. They wanted them elsewhere because it means they can make more money from them. So it wasn't just a case of Fiji kind of being shafted there. But it means England have to go back to the UK and then to Argentina. It is a crazy, crazy travel schedule that they've had to kind of put the players through these 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was mainly interested to confirm that Japan was in the Northern Hemisphere. I don't know why I sort of had placed it a bit further down, but
I know. Yeah.
I'm looking at a map of the world, and you're correct, Alfie. So is Borthwick? You know, like Charlie says, he needs this. Like, how much pressure is he under, and is he likely to lose his job?
Well, I think if England lose today, there is a real possibility of that. I don't think he will lose it before next week against Argentina. He will see out this summer. But I think if England only win 1 game out of 3, or if they were to lose all 3, then I think there is a real chance here. I mean, the funny thing is the RFU had a review after that Six Nations, worst Six Nations that the England men's team have ever had. They had a review after that, and actually Steve Borthwick's position was kind of strengthened off the back of it, and they backed him to take them through to the end of the World Cup next year in Australia, which is when his contract is due to expire anyway. I found the time frame of that strange, given how bad they were in the Six Nations. I thought maybe you would say, we're going to give him the summer and then we'll see, rather than giving him their backing through to the World Cup. I think if it goes wrong today, if it goes badly this summer, then, yeah, I think there is real pressure on the RFU to make a change. At the moment, up to this point, they have always backed Steve Borthwick, but surely it gets to a point where he has been in the job long enough that you're starting to look at it and think, is it going to get any better? Do we need to make a change?
Well, it's just so boring. It's fine being boring if you win, but if it's not, it's boring to watch and it's bad. So, you know, I can't see how he clings on to it, to be honest. I mean, he's brought Henry Slade back, hasn't he, despite not being picked for the Six Nations.
Yeah, so Henry Slade comes back into the team today. He's made a few changes. The team news, though, actually speaks to an England team that are under pressure because he's gone basically as strong as he can. This may have been one of those matches that he might have looked to rotate. I think there was a plan potentially months ago that they were actually going to send some of the squad, maybe 8-9 players, down to Argentina early so that they could kind of not acclimatise in terms of altitude, obviously, but just acclimatise in terms of getting the travel, getting themselves past the travel. They haven't been able to do any of that because he needs all his squad here to take on Fiji and get a result. So I think it's really intriguing from an England point of view. I agree with you, by the way, Charlie. I think that my frustration with Steve Borthwick and England is what I touched upon earlier, that just when you think they're getting somewhere, it all kind of comes crashing down again. If you think about Steve Borthwick, he picked up the mess that Eddie Jones left and took England into the World Cup in 23. That was a short-term project. They got to the semi-final. They didn't play particularly well, but actually they gave the Springboks a real scare in that semi-final and lost narrowly. They were then building in 24, but kept losing tight matches against the best teams. And you're thinking, when's this team going to deliver? They did deliver in 2025. They went on that great run of 11 wins in a row. And then 2026, it all comes crashing back down again. So can they find the consistency in this team? Can they get this England team into a place for the next World Cup in a year's time where they're real contenders? At the moment, you struggle to see it.
Cheers, Alfie. Enjoy the game.
Thank you, Alfie.
Cheers, boys. Thanks a lot.
Alfie Reynolds there, yeah. So England playing Fiji, 2:10 kick-off at the Hill Dickinson today. Minister Paul's been in touch, Charlie. Important point on Pitbull's world record of most number of people wearing bald caps. He said, I'm sure that in that Pitbull record, there are a few clean-shaved people hiding. Maybe use that.
Apparently, you had to wear a bald cap. Even Pitbull wore a bald cap. So it was most number of people wearing but I'm sure there was some.
What about the Duncan our friend Duncan Goodhue
Appreciation Society? Yeah, he's been on.
You know, what about there was 25,000 there? I remember last time I was there.
Well, that we can perhaps go for the new record, perhaps at the next Harry Hill gig.
Goodhue v Pitbull. That would be big, wouldn't it? Put that on,
Mr. Worldwide.
We could do an hour. We do a sort of boxing hour like Jim and Simon do.
It's sad for you that Pitbull took the name Mr. Worldwide, because I think you would have been good at that, Max, because you are constantly globe-trotting.
Might take it off him. Anyway, it's Max and Charlie here till 1, and we'll do the Wheel of Football. It's the replay between Ben and Patrick coming next.
They get into this weird situation where they forget what happened before. So all the big games, they played Havertz, right? Mm-hmm. Gyökeres, who you bought in at the start of the season, was going to be, for all the big games. In all the big games, he was on the bench. Yeah. Facts. That's what happened. Mm-hmm. So the manager doesn't trust him. That's not our opinion. That's just objectively looking at it. Havertz gets injured quite a lot, unfortunately. Gary Jesus is not the same since he's come back from his injury. So if you're now telling me that you can get through this season again and everybody else is going to be as poor as they were last year, I think you're just forgetting the fact that you lot were all losing your marbles. around the Man City loss. And it was, we need a proper striker. Arteta don't know what he's doing again. You win the league, it's great, we're going to win it.
But what I've always said to I've always said to you, though, Gyökeres wasn't bought in for the big games, did I? I said that to you. We bought Gyökeres in for the game.
I get
listen,
explain.
I want to hear
the year before, Arsenal, it weren't the record against Man City's, the Liverpool. It weren't that cost us the league. It was we couldn't beat Fulham, couldn't beat West Ham, couldn't beat them lesser clubs. Gyökeres coming. I mean, he said it. Right, it's one of them. Gyökeres this season though. Gyökeres this season scored against the Fulhams, the West Ham, so we didn't have a problem getting past those teams, which is why then we went on to win the league.
Okay, I think you won the league because you played very pragmatic football. I'm not actually allowed to say the type of football that people are calling it on air, but you played a certain type of football.
Would you play that type of football to win the league?
No.
What?
What are you talking? Of course you would.
Honestly.
If I was a footballer.
No, it's just like...
You're my team.
Yeah.
No, I'll be happy like you lot. I'll be exactly... You get me? I'll be happy. Of course I will.
But would you like to see Spurs play that way to win?
Brendan Johnson scored with like his knee or something and we won the trophy. I'm happy. I don't care, bro. However it gets done, I'm happy. I don't really care. But what I'm saying is, you can't like gloat about it and say, we don't need a 9. That's crazy. You do need a 9, respectfully. What are you talking about, bro? If you sold Osimhen and Havertz right now, you could... Osimhen. If you bought Osimhen and sold Gyökeres and Havertz right now, you'd be great. You'd be fine. You could buy Barcola. Barcola and Osimhen changes their team, bro. Surely.
Do you know what? I'm happy with what we got.
Oh, you're a liar. That's a lie. You're a liar. That is a lie.
I'm happy with
that. Is a
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Win 26 grand in your hand, courtesy of talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, we're building up to the quarterfinal of the World Cup tonight. 10 o'clock kickoff live on talkSPORT. England versus Norway. talkSPORT have £26,000 up for grabs. That is right, £26,000 in cash, tax-free. Is it coming home? It could be for you. Here's Charlie to tell you how to enter.
Yes, for your chance to win, visit talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338 by 6 p.m. on the 20th of July 2026. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or you can send your name and number by post to Comp1, PO Box 3190, Colchester CO2 8GP, to arrive by midnight on 23rd of July 2026. 18 plus, UK residents only. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com.
A friend of mine, Sean's been in touch, Charlie.
Hello, Sean.
He says, be cracking to see Charlie down a yard. Get it locked in like Rooney rowing the Mersey. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. This is Richard sent a text going, I lost my dad earlier this year. He was far too young. World Cup final will be on what would have been his birthday. Seems like divine intervention that we win the World Cup on that day for Dad. He'd love it. Come on in there. Well, look, if we are there this time next week, we'll do the same phoning that we've done for the Euros a couple of times, and we look forward to that. But yeah, fingers crossed. Let's go to Lisa O'Sullivan, who's there for women's Wimbledon final today and the men's one tomorrow. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful one, I think, here on Centre Court. We've got 2 first-time Wimbledon finalists. We're going to have a brand-new Grand Slam champion. So there'll be a brand-new name on the Venus Rosewater dish. First time, we've got 2 women representing Czechia in the Open era, taking on the final. And they've both won the same amount of games, or matches, rather, on grass this year. So a title apiece. It's pretty set up for a sensational women's final, and I think it's going to deliver as well. Sometimes they've been fallen a bit flat, but I think these two, who were Olympic partners in Paris 2024, are going to put on a good show for us.
Yeah, I was disappointed for not to have Coco Gauff, my favourite, in the final. It was on her racket. She missed it, didn't she, Lisa? But Muchova got years of experience and has all that. And then Noskova's a younger player, isn't she? She sort of represents the big hitting future of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mukova, she also had a match point against her, so Coco Gauff could have booked her place in her first Wimbledon final. She had what looked like an absolutely easy... She was trying to decide which shot to play in her brain. You could see all of them going there just to dink it over. A little drop shot she was going to potentially go for. Mukova said, I think I would have had it anyway. So I think that's a great bit of confidence. She's got this brilliant variety of shots in her game. She's a disruptor. She is looking to finish the points quickly, which means it's very creative. It's lovely to watch if you like the pure grass court kind of tennis. Whereas Noskova, she's more aggressive, she's more attacking, and she'll quite happily stay in a basement battle. So a baseline battle, and it's
tennis in a basement though. We'd all watch that. Maybe that's the way to.
Isn't that what paddle is?
Oh my God. How annoying would that be to be upstairs and just hear that? But
no lobs.
Like The Great Escape.
No lobs allowed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you could if you had a really big basement. If you're very well to do, your basement has very high ceilings. Then that's a great opportunity. A quick one, Lisa, on the men's final.
Yeah, so it's the top two. Yannick Sinner is going to play Alexander Zverev. Zverev was brilliant against Arthur Ferry. He absorbed all the pressure. He had everything to lose in that match. Arthur Ferry didn't, and I think Ferry was out of energy, effectively. I think there might have been a bit of an adrenaline lag. He'd played 4.5 hours more tennis than Zverev. He'd been 5 sets longer as well. He'd just basically ground his way through to that semi-final position. Is now the new British #1 and 36 in the world when the rankings come out. So it's been a really good couple of weeks' work for Arthur Ferry. But let's give Zverev his credit. He was superb. And I think the match against Sinner, who also was superb against Novak Djokovic, and Novak Djokovic just said he was just better than me. I was blown off the court. We've got the two best, and we talked about the heat and the weather with Sinner. I think he's found a way of coping with it at Wimbledon. And again, I think we could be in for a classic tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Good stuff, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks. Lisa O'Sullivan at Wimbledon. I still think Arthur Ferry is from about 1920. This is London. Arthur Ferry, another victory for... we're having a discussion. When was the last broadcaster to talk? Obviously, that's how I normally
talk like that.
But talk like that. This is another win for Arthur Ferry against the plucky Frenchman. And he's on to the semi-finals.
Big Joe Shannon's got a touch of that. I like
Bring it back, Joe. Come on,
Joe Shannon.
Bring it back, Joe. Hey, let's play the wheel of football.
Oh yes, please.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is Trevor Nelson's favourite part of the show. It's the Wheel of Football. Here's your host, Max Rushden and Charlie Baker. Welcome, Charlie.
Good morning, Max, and a very good morning to Trevor Nelson. And I'm looking forward to the Wheel of Football today. Hopefully we'll finally get a result.
Well, hopefully we will. For 5 footballers, 2 competitors, 5 categories. We may have to do best of 3, given it's 11:53.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But let's bring on our competitors. Ben, the West Brom fan. Hi, Ben.
Morning, Ben.
Yeah, good morning, gents. How are we?
Yeah, very
well.
Yeah,
good.
Ben.
Still the world champion, but it's on a knife edge. You're up against Patrick, the Villa fan. Hi, Patrick.
Hello, Patrick.
Morning, Leo and Bushwhacker. Talking brilliant DJs.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. Right, let's get into it. Come on, Ben. Give us a footballer.
John Beresford, please, Max, if I can.
Lovely start. John Beresford. Patrick?
John Beresford.
Sorry, guys. Adebayo Akinfenwa.
Adebayo
Akinfenwa. Right, okay. Bayo versus Beresford. Here we go. Give us a category, please.
Has eaten the most eggs in their life.
Well, he's shaped like one, so there you go.
It's 1-0 to Patrick.
It's 1-0 to Patrick. Adebayo, I think, wins that all day long. Although Beresford might like an egg.
Well, he might, but come on. Adebayo. It's like Cool Hand Luke every morning.
Adebayo, full of the protein. Okay, next footballer, please.
Here we go. Next footballer, please. Ben, give us a footballer.
Let's play Emmanuel Pogatetz, if I can, please, Max.
Okay.
Emmanuel Pogatetz, yeah. Patrick?
Pat Nevin.
Pat Nevin. Oh, I love Pat
Nevin.
Okay, here we go.
Cultured, very cultured. Like Ben.
Angriest.
No need for that. Angriest.
The angriest.
Okay.
Oh, well, they used to call Emmanuel Pogatetz the mad dog, so 1-1.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
so.
yeah. Pat
Although
Nevin's not
I
angry.
did hear a story about Pat Nevin used to have to take 2 copies of the NME to Chelsea training, one at the bottom of his bag that he would read, and the other one at the top that they were allowed to burn.
Yeah.
Exactly, Charlie. You're very angry. Very angry. And he had to do it with Morrissey. So that'll make you angry, wouldn't it?
It's one apiece.
It's
Pocket
1-1.
takes
It's
it.
1-1.
Give us okay, Ben. Here we go. Give us another footballer.
Oh, you better let him choose first, Max, just in case, because he has a bit of a hissy fit, doesn't he, sometimes?
That's true. Patrick.
Off you go.
Ben's all day has been more like it's so boring. Honestly, your banter. Jeez,
hey, Patrick.
Come on, Patrick. Come on, Patrick. Footballer, please.
Come on, late for the news. Pascal Chimbonda.
Pascal Chimbonda, Ben.
Yes.
Oh, Ronnie Rosenthal, please, Max.
Rosenthal.
Oh, great. What a great fixture this is. Chimbonda versus Rosenthal.
What a game this is.
Wonderful.
Really is.
Okay.
Has read the most books.
Has read the most books. Okay.
Pascal
Ben?
Chimbonda or Ronnie Rosenthal?
He was a junior librarian at his school in Nigeria. I remember that. I know that for a fact. So, yeah.
Right, that's a fact. That's a fact,
That's a
Ben.
fact.
So what do you know about Ronnie Rosenthal?
Ronnie Rosenthal is a shareholder in Waterstones, Charlie. So I'll just level that up if we're dealing
I didn't know that. I will say that. So.
Yeah, he did a lot of work with his local libraries actually in the early 90s. A lot of story time corners for the children. So nice guy, Ronnie.
Come on, keep up.
I can't say I've said libraries. It's
Okay,
not how this game works.
I've got libraries. I am libraries. Come on, Ben. Keep
It
up.
is Patrick.
Don't know where the library is. You don't.
Max, the ombudsman. The ombudsman.
I'm giving it Ronnie Rosenthal because he's got 20 years on Chimbonda.
Yeah, maybe he was reading when he was meant to tap it in on the line as well.
2-1 to Ben. 2-1 to Ben. Give us a footballer, please. Patrick.
Yes.
Oi, give us a footballer.
Pat Jennings, another Pat. Come on.
Pat Jennings,
Oh,
big hands.
lovely
An
choice.
absolute gentleman, guys.
Ben.
Ooh, Anders Limpar, if I can, Max, please.
Anders Limpar, yeah. Of course,
Limpar v.
Limpar versus
Jennings.
Jennings. Here we go. What's the category?
Category is most likely to have a secret tattoo or piercing.
Again? Come on, Charles. You're better than this.
I don't plan the.
Do we want a new category? Do you want a new category?
Okay, we'll draw it out.
New
We'll draw out a
category.
new category. Okay.
New category.
Come on.
Here we
So
go.
Patrick probably
Let
didn't
Ben
want
go
Pat
first
Jennings.
for honeymoon.
Oh, it's a repeat again. Would pretend to go to the toilet but secretly pay the bill. I'm thinking Jennings, but carry on, Patrick.
Jennings all day. Absolute gentleman of football. Ballon d'Or nominee 1973, 75 and 85. Absolute gentleman of football. That's all I can say.
Patrick? That's right, Ben?
No, thank you.
Fantastic reading of Wikipedia he has open in front of him of a morning, Patrick.
Is it really? I'm on a building site. How can I get
a fantastic
Getting a bit punchy this now.
Isn't it?
Nice game, Ben. Come on. Max?
That's all we have time for
That's all
today.
we've got time for.
More
We'll bring it back next weekend, the final.
More next week.
Final
there we go,
next
the Win of
week.
Football. So the score is currently 2-1 and it's
do another
lodged on
week of
Jennings on Limpar. Yeah, get rid of these guys. But thank you so much for playing. Two of the best in the world. Thank you to Patrick. Thank you to Ben. Thank you to Trevor Nelson. Jamie O'Hara will join us in just a second.
Let's go to Ben. He's Arsenal fan. All right, Ben?
Benny boy.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm all right, Ben. We've got to do this quarter-final 11. Let's get it going. Come on.
All right. I've got the Spanish flamenco dance on the wing. Like around defence. Their foot tapping all dazzle their defence and send them sideways.
Yeah, the old flamenco dance.
And
Dance
the
with
little maverick on the wing. Little maverick on the wing.
Like a flamenco dance.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Is it flamenco or is it what is it? Flamenco.
Madame, wait for you.
Flamenco.
It's a flamenco.
Yeah.
Flamenco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know you're iconic now, Ben?
No,
Yeah.
He's actually iconic.
Ben appears every single night at the sports bar.
Every night.
Doesn't he?
Without foul.
Yeah. Been over a year.
It's been a year. All right, look, the flamenco dancer on the wing.
Yeah.
Okay, dancing about. Bit of Maverick in there. All right, let's go to Dave. He's a Sunderland fan. Dave?
All right, Dave-o.
Hello, boys. How you doing?
I'm all right, Dave. How are you?
Yeah.
Good. So I'm getting in early with a representative from England who I think can be our captain.
Okay.
And it's St. George himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a leader, warrior. He's up for a battle. He'll put the opposition to the sword. And I think we can play him on the wing.
No, we don't feel like a winger, mate.
He's one of, if not the greatest of all time. Diego Maradona led Argentina to glory in 1986, producing some incredible moments on the way. But his World Cup story wasn't all triumph and inspiration. A fresh-faced 21-year-old Maradona arrived at the 1982 World Cup as the next great hope for Argentina. But his tournament debut didn't go to plan. Argentina were knocked out early on, and Maradona was criticised for underperforming. His legend truly begins 4 years later, when, in the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, he created outrage and infamy with one flick of his wrist, the hand of God. He punched it into the net. Peter Shilton called him a cheat. Maradona described the referee Ali bin Nasser, who missed it, as his great eternal friend. Then just 4 minutes later, he picks up the ball in his own half and starts to dance around the England team. He goes past one, then another. Can we have that music off, please? Anyway, the run ends in glory for Maradona, and just days later, he was lifting the World Cup trophy, Argentina's second, and returning home a national hero. Hopes were high for Italia 90 when he'd captained the side again, but it was bizarre. Maradona was playing his club football in Italy at the time, winning titles for Napoli. And the Neapolitans were actually supporting Argentina over their own country when they faced off in the semi-final. Argentina won that game, but lost to West Germany in the final, and Maradona burst into tears. The 1994 World Cup would be his last. I mean, even his fashion had gone downhill. He was sent home after 2 games for failing a doping test due to something he'd ingested from an energy drink. But does a Red Bull make you look like this? Maradona would never pull on the blue and white stripes again. He did come back as manager, but was sacked after they were knocked out in 2010. The goal of the century is a permanent reminder that he may well have been the greatest of them all. Before it, his ascent, and after it, his dramatic descent, only highlights the mountain peak that was Maradona's 86.
Good afternoon. You are listening to the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max and Charlie with you until 1. Max is live in New York City.
New York City.
Charlie
He's live from Start Spreading the News.
I am, yeah. It's concrete jungle here, but my dreams are being made.
Yeah, exactly. You hear that song quite a lot, don't you? If you're on the Brooklyn Bridge, they play that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone's doing Adrian Durham impressions. It's weird. Now, this is important. British Heart Foundation's hijacking the 3-minute hydration breaks during the World Cup to highlight that every 3 minutes someone dies from cardiovascular disease. And here is how you can help.
British Heart Foundation's 3 minutes on talkSPORT. In the time it takes for a 3-minute hydration break, someone in the UK dies from cardiovascular disease. Donate to British Heart Foundation and keep us beating. Visit bhf.org.uk/3 minutes.
Jamie O'Hara's here to talk about. I didn't know you were a doctor, Jamie. This is good stuff.
Dr. O'Hara.
How are you, pal?
See you now. The man, the picture of health. How are we, boys?
You are. Yeah, good. And you and Jason you are doing some brilliant stuff this World Cup. I have to say, hats off to you boys.
Cheers, mate.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Do you know what's a disgrace, though? Are you in New York?
He's in New York.
I'm in New York.
And talkSPORT took you out there?
No, don't ask why he's there. It's different people.
I'm starting to feel like a little bit like left out, right?
Do you feel left out?
I feel like everyone from talkSPORT is just getting the gig. Like every presenter is ended up in New York at some point, right?
They left the fun people.
O'Hara and Cundy have been binned.
The thing is, Jamie, I'll tell you this, right? If you're worried about where you are and where I am in the pecking order, I was like, I'm in New York. They're like, everyone, we've got talkSPORT engineers, studio. And I was like, yeah, I can just come and do that. They went, nah, your Wi-Fi in your hotel room, and if it doesn't work, we'll just get someone else. So don't you worry. Listen, have you ever seen me? You know, when you walk into the building, you see the photo of all the talkSPORT presenters. There's people on that who've never done a show.
Well, you haven't been here for 2 years, Max.
Jamie, you've
opened
up.
The office has changed,
You've
mate.
opened up a can of worms here, Jamie. Please, do you talk about
I don't even have a
health?
magnet. I haven't got a magnet. Where's my magnet, for goodness sake? Anyway, come
Max,
on.
You're down on level 2 now, mate.
I know that. Right. What do you know, if anything, about this, or do you want me to read it to you?
No. Obviously, me and Cundy have teamed up with the British Heart Foundation. We're going to be doing some content throughout the rest of the World Cup on hydration, like during hydration breaks. Obviously, you heard the thing there about obviously every 3 minutes someone dies from cardiovascular disease. So it's a serious thing. And it's something we want to raise awareness to. So there'll be a lot of people obviously watching the games tonight. Conversations that can be had during a hydration break, because we all hate the hydration break, right?
Yeah.
It's a load of old nonsense. They're playing music in the stands to try and keep people occupied. So maybe if you can, just have a chat. Make sure everyone's healthy. Have a chat with your loved ones, your partners. And yeah, it's just something that me and Cundy have got involved with and been asked to get involved with. So we're really proud about it.
No, so, look, they do amazing work, and you're absolutely right. If we're gonna sit around for 3 minutes, you might as well, instead of just going, how are we going to break down this low block, just go to that website, bhf.org.uk/3 minutes. Have a look at that website. It is something to fill the time before we get rid of hydration breaks. Come on then, Jamie, how are you feeling ahead of this one tonight?
Well, my heart's racing. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for it. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm a fan. And it's awful, right? I'm gonna be doing it later. I'm gonna be watching the game with Jace, and I'm gonna hate every minute of it. I'm not gonna enjoy it, but I just hope that we can find a way of getting through. And I believe we're a better team than Norway. I think the players know that. But you might play Norway 10 times. You might win 6. You draw a couple, but they might win 2.
Yeah,
right? It's one of them, right? And we got to make sure that one that they win ain't today.
Yeah. Someone sent a great message. One of those terrifying, because you sort of sit there going, I think we'll be fine tonight, and then you check yourself, going, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to be the cocky one. And someone said, look, Erling Haaland is Noel Gallagher's favourite player. He doesn't really support England. He much prefers City to England. You can just see the Norway players all there arm in arm singing Wonderwall at the end. You just got that image.
Don't do that to me. Max. Stop it. I don't want to see any of that tonight. I need Wonderwall, like, singing to the rafters with the boys. Look, I think it's going to be a tight game, right? It's going to be hot, right? You're out in New York, but I know Miami's meant to be roasted.
Even hotter,
yeah. I think this is going to be the first kind of real game where we've played in serious heat conditions. So he's going to slow the tempo of the game down. There's no two ways about it. So, I think the game at the Azteca was high tempo, fast, and I think this might be different. I think it's going to be
we got such a good team, Jamie. Elliot Anderson, Bellingham, Kane, Saka will be fit. Declan Rice is fit. They're saying.
Yeah,
we're such a good team. We're not reliant. I know they're not reliant. They're not a one-man team, obviously, but they are overly reliant on one player.
Yeah,
and if we
can, with Odegaard.
But if we can shut Odegaard down. No,
I agree.
If you train with someone all day and then you meet him internationally, do you think that makes it a difference? So.
Yeah,
you
a
know.
few of the Man City players, obviously,
And Odegaard and Rice,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Gay and Haaland.
I think you learn someone's attributes. You'll also know how good he is, right?
Yeah.
You know, Declan Rice knows how good Odegaard is. He knows what he can produce. You know, Gay, he knows. Haaland is a monster. So I think you've got to relish the challenge. You come up against your teammate. You know, you don't want him to get the better of you. So I think you've got to make sure you're on your game. So I think that, look, these players play against Odegaard and Haaland, you know, a lot. We see them a lot. They're in the Premier League. We know about them. So, you know, how do you keep Haaland quiet? You just got to stop. You got to stop the supply.
Foul him early.
Yeah, you got to stop the supply. And
do you know what, Jamie?
And it's hard to do because Odegaard's the player who makes things happen for him.
That amazing clip of Haaland just doing nothing. You know, like that just sort of, did you see that one before the header against Brazil where he's just sort of looking about? It's literally like he's just left. He's just walked out of somewhere he doesn't know and he's just about to get Google Maps out. He's literally just standing there going, how do I get here? And then bang. And you're like, oh, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really interesting you say that because as a defender, they've got to be aware of that, right? Gay, whoever plays tonight, Dan Burn, Conce, whoever it is, you've got to be aware that Haaland will look disinterested.
Yeah.
He won't necessarily, he don't want the ball to feet. He's not like Kane. Kane wants to go and get on the ball. He'll make things happen. Haaland will be, well, I'll be disinterested. I'll walk around. And as soon as it gets into that place where he go, right, he's coming into the box, he comes alive. So you've got to be touch tight. Gabriel in that game where he scored, Gabriel ain't touch tight. I'm surprised because they played against each other. He knows what he's about. You've got to be touch tight to Haaland. You can't allow him to get a run on you. If he gets a run on you in the box, it's game over. So you have not, you know, if you see him walking, get tight to him.
So that's concentration, right? Is sort of not letting drifting into his pace of play.
100%. You've got to be focused, fully focused. It's hard because as a defender, you know, you've got this man and ball defending. You're watching the ball, crosses coming in, mate. All you've got to think about, where's Haaland? You know, like if he gets a run on you, I don't care who you are, you ain't winning that ball. So you have got to be tight to him.
Yeah, and also just sometimes, because I thought about this which was the game we put in like 50 crosses, maybe it was the DR Congo game, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But sometimes just a cross is perfect and the run is perfect and actually there's nothing you can do. Like there's just sometimes that can happen. Yeah. But look, we are also, like some of their players aren't great, like we can focus on that, but we do have, I think you're absolutely right about that most times we would, you know, they'll beat us a couple of times and I think that's really spot on.
We've got to worry about ourselves though, Max, right?
Yeah.
All right, they got Haaland, they got Odegaard. Okay. No, don't care, right? We got Kane, we got Bellingham, we got Saka, we got Rice. You know, like we've got a top side. Like, so yes, we got to deal with them, and we got to respect Norway for what they are as a team and how well they've done. But we are better than them.
Yeah,
all over the park, we're better than them. Where are their weaknesses? At the fullbacks, centre halves, midfield. Let's overrun them. Let's go. You know, let's beat them. You know, we go past them. We make things happen. We put them on the back foot.
Yeah. Come on.
You know, and that's how you got to think about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the midfield's quite good.
Exactly.
Another reason for agony, Jamie, is and which we shouldn't do is all those players on yellow cards when you're just like, Jude, don't stand on your feet. I'm going to be yelling, stay on your feet so much this evening. And that's because you can't look ahead because we've got to win this game. You've got to play this game at 100%. Like, so you've got to, but it's just one of those things.
Just don't get a stupid one, right? That's, you know, like if you have to make a tackle, you have to make a tackle, right? And it is what it is. But don't get a stupid one, like for, you know, kicking the ball.
When we go 4-0 up by half time, they'll take him off, won't they?
How nice would that be? How nice would that be?
Bring on Kobbie Mainoo, shut up shop, Dan Burn, you know.
It's never easy with England, though, is it? It's just never easy.
Why is it never like
that? Although that England-Sweden quarterfinal in 2018, right, was like that. That was just, this is nice. Ali scored. I can't remember who scored the other one. And it was like, oh.
Who did they have up
barely
front?
A game.
Who did Sweden have up front?
I don't think it'll be like that tonight. I don't think it will. No. What's your score prediction, Jamie? What do you reckon?
I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to go 2-1 England. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think we'll get it done. Set piece, something like that. It's going to be hot. Tempo will be slower. But I think we go through.
And what are you doing? What are you here for now? Are you doing a show? Are you next?
I'm on. Yeah, I'm on after you.
Jamie lives
here. Get your info correct, matey. I've got a 4-hour show.
They refuse
blockbuster stuff.
They refuse to send him to America, but he does live in this building.
Yeah, what's up with the schedule here, mate? What's going on at the minute? What are these daytime
4
stuff?
is long,
1 till 5. Who made that up?
Do you know what? It's like when I do the Sunday show with Barry, and then, you know, Perry comes on to talk about the Sunday session, and then like, I can go to bed in Australia and get up and they're still on. That's what happened. Like, to that one, it's like, sometimes that's 8 hours. I'm a 2-hour guy. I'm a 2-hour show guy. I tell them 2 hours good, third hour.
Sports bar, I'm an hour and a half guy. You know, when it goes extra time, come on for an hour, quick phone in, bosh, out the door, lovely. Now it's a slog. Colton Cole,
and then you're doing a YouTube. Then you're doing a watch along, right?
Then we're doing a sports bar special, at the Redwood. We're going to be over there with the jerseys on. It's me, Jason Cundy, and I'm not sure who the other guy is. I think it's with Danny Mills or Dean Ashton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We're excited.
As in they haven't decided who they're booked, or you?
Well, I think it's meant to be a bit of a surprise, Max.
Surprise.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit of a
The sponsors like it to be a surprise.
Yeah, sponsored by Burger King, so we can't wait for it. It's going to be rocking over at the Redwood.
Okay, good fun. Well, look, thanks, Jamie. Well, have a good show.
Brilliant, Jamie. Thank you very much.
And good luck this evening. Come on, England. Jamie Harwood there. So it's bhf.org.uk/3 minutes if you want to learn more about the British Heart Foundation. That was their 3 minutes on talkSPORT. Make sure you head to talkSPORT socials ahead of the England-Norway game to find out more.
British Heart Foundation's 3 minutes on talkSPORT. In the time it takes for a 3-minute hydration break, someone in the UK dies from cardiovascular disease. Donate to British Heart Foundation and keep us beating. Visit bhf.org.uk/3 minutes.
Newcastle's summer exodus is set to reach a crisis point. Sean, you'll have heard this news. Sandro Tonali, Anthony Gordon, of course, already out the door. Club captain and fan favourite Bruno Guimaraes has reportedly informed the hierarchy that he wants to join champions Arsenal. With another star player forcing his way out, Darren Bent raised serious concerns about what this loss could mean for Eddie Howe next season.
Yeah, I do feel for Eddie Howe. I really do, because again, if Bruno leaves tonight, he's obviously gone to Tottenham as well. Isaac, they just haven't been able to kind of recruit the players certainly the quality that they've lost. And you look at what they've bought some of these players for. Isaac, was it 60 million? They're selling for 120. Like tonight, they bought him for a fee. They're selling for more. So clearly, he's improving these players. But at some point, I think if Newcastle do want to go to the next level, they've got. I know it's hard with the PSR and the financial fair play, but if they do want to go to the next level and then stay there, they've got to find a way of holding on to some of these players.
Oh, look at Darren and his floral number. Watching on the smart TV, I like that. Sure. Do you have sympathy for Eddie Howe in this situation? The latest is that Bruno has agreed personal terms with Arsenal, but Newcastle's stance is that he remains not for sale.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's really tough, and the challenge that you have is not just if one of your big players goes at any football club, at any level really. People understand there's a time and a place. When 2 go, that can make other players a bit itchy and a bit nervy. But then if 3 go, all of a sudden they go, hang on a minute, who are we bringing in? And I think they're right on that cusp. I don't know their situation at PSR, but I've been through that, obviously, in my time at Everton, so I know how dangerous that can be. But I think losing the players of that quality, I think that's really tough on Eddie, and I think he's done a great job there. So hopefully, I mean, look, you never know on the other side of that. Good people in their recruitment there, they've shown that over.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good afternoon, Max and Charlie with you until 1. The women's Wimbledon final kicks off, or it starts. That's why tennis match starts soon. Before that, it's the wheelchair men's final, gone to a final set. Lisa O'Sullivan.
Yeah, the women's final doesn't start till 4 o'clock this afternoon. Last year they made a bit of a change. They moved the men's doubles into the first part. So basically, if you've got a centre court ticket, you get a little bit more bang for your buck. And then it's the women's showpiece. Tomorrow we'll have the women's doubles final, followed by the men's final. But over on court number 1, as you very rightly said, it's currently the men's wheelchair doubles final. And top seed, Alfie Hewitt and Gordon Reid of Great Britain have just levelled things up because Tokita Oda and Gustavo Fernandez took the first set 6-2. Rather surprisingly, we're into the decider. Alfie and Gordon taking that second set 6-1. Tokita Oda, I have to say, big shout out to him. He went to great lengths and has been trying for a few years to get a white wheelchair, and finally his supplier has managed to create this brilliant white wheelchair. So he is completely rocking the Wimbledon dress code and looking pretty cool with it.
Great stuff. Thank you, Lisa. More from Lisa O'Sullivan throughout the day. Now, can this man have another stormer today in the England-Norway game?
Down towards Alvarado. That's a good ball in, Darby. Scooped away by Pickford. Fine shot to deny Raul Jimenez.
Fantastic save by the goalie. Fantastic header.
It's just about being in that moment, being ready. You know they're going to keep coming.
Alvarado again. Left-footed ball inside the area. Flick header. Oh, Pickford forced to turn it over the bar.
Pickford's made 2 outstanding saves.
A great goalkeeper. He is some brilliant saves. As a defender, having a world-class keeper behind you is always a good thing. Yeah, he's suddenly become Jordan Banks, hasn't he? Absolutely incredible from Pickford. A feeling that you'll never forget, but that's a standard we set ourselves, and that's the togetherness we have when we go again.
I've got to say, Pickford has been magnificent coming for the odd cross. I think he's come from free now. Couple that with a couple of saves in the first half as well.
Comes the corner, it's an in-swing, and Pickford punches it away. Referee, blow your whistle. He has. England have won. They've laid bare the curse from the Azteca.
God, montages are going to get me going, honestly.
Any montage at all.
Emotionally weak. It's too much. Stick elbow on.
Not elbow one day. Don't do that to me. Exactly.
I'm done. Not at this time. Anyway, yeah, he was brilliant, wasn't he? Let's talk to former England goalkeeper Chris Kirkland. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
How are we, chaps? You okay?
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Good. Nice to chat as always. I mean, actually, you know that Jordan Banks line from Adrian was good because that first save from Jimenez was a bit like the back.
Oh, looks like we've lost Max.
I've lost you a little bit there.
Yeah. We were discussing how Adrian saying that the Jordan Pickford save was a little bit like Gordon Banks. I mean, if he can play like Gordon Banks today, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. It's not like Adrian to praise goalkeepers, is it? But, it's listen. I've said many times I was in my last year in football. Unfortunately, when I was at Preston.
Oh yeah.
Jordan was the goalkeeper, so I got a call off Simon Grayson saying, "Look, we want you to come to Preston. We've got a young lad that's going to play. We just want you to be around him." And listen, he didn't need my help, Jordan. But from the first day. I said, listen, I've not got many things right in my career, but I said, this lad will play for England. There's no doubt about it. And he's gone on, nearly 80 caps now. He's never let the country down. No. He's arguably been the best player in the last 2 or 3 tournaments. I know people were starting at the beginning of this tournament saying he's started slow, but he certainly made up for that in the last game, as all the team did. Listen, I think we watched that. And the resilience they've shown, listen, it wasn't, I don't think it's the best they've ever played. But the resilience, overcoming all the conditions, the weather, obviously that stadium, their own fans, Mexico fans. I just think it was it gave our country something to smile about.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, we know it's tough times at the minute, but they got everybody smiling. I'm sure tonight. Cannot wait for the game. We've got brilliant.
When we went down to 10, Chris, he seemed to step up and be stronger and be punching more and coming off his line more. He really stepped up, didn't he?
Listen, like I said, I think he's been magnificent. He's been magnificent for England, and he's been brilliant for Everton for the last 10 years. I've been surprised that, I'm sure teams have been sniffing around him. I think when Man U were looking a couple of years ago for a keeper, I was thinking, go and get him, definitely.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm one of his biggest fans. I think he's been brilliant. I know sometimes people say, he winds people up on the pitch, but that's what makes him the way he is. That's what makes him tick. He's very animated, but I'll tell you what, I want more of that tonight, because if he does and he performs like he did the other day, and the team as well, we've got a brilliant chance to go through. But listen, let's make no mistake about it, this game is going to be an extremely tough game. It doesn't matter who you play in quarterfinals, World Cup, but they'll have the full backing of this country. There'll be many, many fans out there, and it's a game that certainly cannot wait for.
Yeah, I don't know if you've covered this, because I had to refresh my Wi-Fi, as I suggest I would at the top of the show at 12:22. The saves were good, but the way he commanded his box, and it took total ownership over every ball coming in, Jordan Pickford, I just thought it was a sign of great leadership, actually.
Well, they all were. Listen, and that's one of the biggest things when I was at Preston, actually. He come and took everything. He come and dominated everything. And in the Championship, listen, the Championship changed a little bit now, but back then, we're talking 10 years, balls just used to get pumped up into the box, and he come and took everything 10 foot above everyone else. So seeing that the other night doesn't surprise me at all. The saves he made, the contribution he made, and listen, they all needed to defend, weren't it? It was a long last 30 minutes. But every single one of them deserves huge success. And listen, they've got to take confidence from that. As I said, I don't think it was the best performance in terms of the way they played, and they certainly didn't outplay Mexico, but in terms of true grit and determination and how to win a football match by any means, they've shown that the other day, and it should take tremendous credit, because I tell you what, that was some test the other day, and to have that test, they've not faced listen, they've faced tests all the time, but with everything that was said about that game, with everything behind the scenes as well, and the weather and the pit and everything like that, to overcome that should give them huge confidence going into tonight. But we know in football it can humble you very quickly. So they need to switch on, forget about what's gone on, use that game as confidence, use that as belief, watch that back, watch the defending, watch them scoring goals, use that for tonight's game. But tonight's game is, I think it's going to be slight. I don't think it's going to be as hectic as the other night. You know, Mexico threw everything at us, but I think they started so fast as well. Mexico did. I'm not sure it's going to be the same tonight. I think it's going to be more of a cagey affair, but I'm sure we can get the job done.
Also worth pointing out, in terms of goalkeepers, that the Nyland in goal for Norway against Brazil was unbelievable. And that save he made, I don't know if you saw it, Chris, from like the centre-back, like loop one over, and, you know, they'd just gone 1-0 up, and you were like, that's not how they're going to equalise. And the way he stretched for that was brilliant. The question,
I'm loving all this praise for
keepers. Carry on.
I'm loving all this praise for keepers today.
We love keepers on this show, Chris. We're big goalkeeping fans.
Good man.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I was thinking about this about the England-Mexico game, and I sometimes make really daft comparisons between terrible Sunday League football of my level and international football. But I sense when I've played a game, right, against a really tough away game, against some people that have kicked us and things have gone against us, you've had someone set off, and you get to the dressing room and the feeling in there, and that must be multiplied by about 1 million. But when you've played games where you've been up against it like that for that last half hour, to get out of there with a win and to just the emotion, the feeling of being in that dressing room must have been unbelievable.
Right, let me tell you, it is the best feeling in the world. Honestly, it's amazing. Listen, you can win games 4-5-0 and they're good feelings, but when you've had to battle like that, and you've come off, and particularly the last half an hour, it was backs against the wall, 10 men, everything against you. To win a game like that, it is the best feeling. Honestly, it's certainly a feeling that I miss. I used to love the 1-0s where, you know, you went 1-0 up, or it was 0-0 for so long in the game, you're under pressure, and then you nick to one in the last minute as well. You can't beat a last minute winner as well. But yeah, that dressing room, and rightly so, all the staff as well. Listen, the players magnificent, the staff behind the scenes. I don't think people realise what goes on behind the scenes as well, with all the staff, all the planning, you know, that these staff would have been planning, and the physios, people behind the scenes that will never get the credit they deserve. They would have been absolutely over the moon, all of them, because, listen, yes, it's about the players that go on the pitch, but it's a whole squad and the whole backroom team as well. To have success in the World Cup, everybody's got to be pulling in the right direction, and they've got a brilliant setup. They always have at England, you know, people behind the scenes, like I said, that people will probably never hear of these people, all the staff, the kit men, everybody like that. They're worth the weight in gold, which allows then the players to go and do the stuff on the pitch, and hopefully we can do that again later.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you, Chris. Nice to chat, Chris. As always. Hope you're doing well.
Take care. Cheers, chaps. Enjoy.
Good man. Chris Kirkland there. Mark says the Wi-Fi dropping out right on cue was absolutely sensational.
You called
I did
it, Max.
say
22, didn't you?
12:22. It's going to happen tomorrow. There's nothing I can do because Mark says. Just
so we need to line up some calls. We need to line up some calls for 12:22. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you refresh it during the last ad break? Does this idea get me a job at talkSPORT? Says Mark. It's just the way it is. It just cuts out. And so, 12:22 tomorrow, it will cut out again. And I love how Charlie managed to stop himself from telling Chris he's also a top tier keeper.
I am top level, but I don't like to
keep
talk
things
about
close
it,
to each other. Lars Sivertsen, our mortal enemy, joins us. Norwegian football expert joins us in just a second.
I mean, as recently as 2024, Bruno Touzazol, he told everybody who cared to listen what he wanted to achieve at Newcastle.
I never said that I would like to leave. Since I signed for the club, I always said I want to put my name in the club history, and nothing changed. Nothing changed from me. It is keeping going. I still want to win some trophy for me. When I signed for the club, I said I want to play Champions League, and everyone said that I was crazy. And we got it. Now I wanna be in Champions League again. I wanna win something for the club. I think the fans deserve. We are worked so hard to get it. So this is still my dream.
And then a year later, Simon, they win the Carabao Cup, and Bruno says, "This is my second home. We're making history. Someday, when I leave this club, I want the fans to sing my name the way they do Alan Shearer." I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Well, look, first and foremost, ask yourself the question: why are these players suddenly all deserting the sinking ship? It's not a sinking ship, but it doesn't appear to be a particularly ambitious one. It doesn't appear to have an ownership model that everyone thought was going to change the whole direction of football. Oh my God, we've just sold to a nation state, one of the richest nation states, and look what they're going to do to football. But they haven't done anything. They're going to buy everybody. They're going to buy Ronaldo. They're going to buy Messi. They're going to have this player here, that player, this player, you know, and they haven't. Yeah. They bought a bunch of players that to some extent they've gone and made better. And these players are now doing what every player does, which is go, Liverpool.
Yes.
Oh, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, Real Madrid. And that's what Newcastle have found themselves in a position of doing. So ask yourself the question, despite the vilification of a player that 2 years ago said he wanted to stay, nothing lasts forever. He's done his 2 years. He is entitled to leave. How he leaves is the key component part of this. But also, why? Why are Newcastle now a place where people want to leave from?
Yeah.
And that's the problem Eddie Howe's got. That's the problem that Matey Boy says that to everyone they're going to win the league by 2030.
Yeah.
Those are the challenges that they've got.
When you think about some of the stadiums that have hosted games in the World Cup, sometimes it's hard not to be completely overawed. But what's the biggest? One thing we have to be clear about is that older stadiums will have had higher capacities when it was standing only. A good example of this is the old Wembley. For the final in '66, the capacity was 125,000. But that was later reduced to 100 when it was converted into an all-seater in 1990. Another example is this, Mexico City's Estadio Azteca. Back in '86, it's estimated around 115,000 people watched Argentina beat West Germany to win their second World Cup. Essential modernisation so it could be used in the 2026 tournament reduced it to 83,000. You can't talk about old stadiums with high capacities without mentioning Brazil's Maracanã. Some say the jewel in football's crown. In the 2014 World Cup, its capacity stood at just under 79,000. But back in 1950, well, it wasn't official, but estimates believe 210,000 people came to this place for a winner-takes-all match between Brazil and Uruguay. That's still the world record attendance for a live football match, and let's be honest, it's not likely to be beaten anytime soon.
Yeah, afternoon all. Max and Charlie with you until 1 hour. It's time for time difference. We'll do that in a little bit. Time now, though, to look at today's So Good moment of the day with Meantime.
The So Good moment of the day on talkSPORT with Meantime. talkSPORT have teamed up with Meantime to create So Good lager for the World Cup. Available now at all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports bars in the UK. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Boo! Norwegian football expert and our good friend Lars Sivertsen is
Hello,
here.
good morning.
Morning, Lars from Dallas. How are you, Lars?
I would complain about the time, but then I realized I also know where you are, Max. So I'm not going to complain about the time.
No
complaints. I'm an hour later than you. I'm an hour late. But when I was in LA, I was doing 2 till 5 in the morning on this show, and no one noticed until I yawned. I did such a big yawn on YouTube that I got met. The comments were absolutely great. Okay, so it's early for you. It is early for you, Lars. But how are you? Before we did the football analysis, as a football fan, as a Norway fan, how are you feeling?
It's been so much work on the last sort of 24 hours. I've not really had time to feel yet. I've had so many things. I think I did 8 different radio spots.
Too good for us.
So I've had dinner with a friend last night.
Off to Radio 4 I go.
This is why this is where pivoting from Radio 4 to talkSPORT, and then I think I'm on Al Jazeera.
Joining us now is the Norwegian football expert Lars Sivertsen. Lars, tell us about the history of football in Norway. Was that how it went?
It was close to that, yeah, definitely. So hopefully, but no. The point is, it's been wild, and obviously, I've been trying to eke out a living in this sort of sector for a long time, but I've never had this much skin in the game. Like we've done this before. We covered tournaments, Max. We've done radio and podcast and things. Yeah. And I've done this many times, but I've never actually been involved. I've never had my people. Now I finally understand why you all go completely nuts in these tournaments. I didn't quite get it before, but I do now.
You were confident coming in, Lars. You tipped Norway. You said they're dark. You genuinely. I remember you said they're dark horses. They're going to do well. You were positive.
The squad is so strong, Charlie, and really the only thing was the mental hurdle, because the knowledge that we'd never actually done anything at a tournament before. We were at the World Cup in '94 and '98 with good teams without really making the sort of impact we were hoping for, and the players have grown up. Like, we had 28 years of not qualifying. The players know that's a third of a century. The whole squad have grown up with the national team being this team that always fails, that never quite gets it done, and I think having that weight hanging over them was significant. I think it's why qualifying was so important. Like, there were street parties in Oslo when we qualified. The Swedes made fun of us because they didn't understand that, like, this is such a big deal for us. So they had to overcome that mental fact of just not having done it before. They did that. The win over the Ivory Coast here in Dallas, I think, was absolutely just mentally crucial for us, and it allowed us to go into the Brazil game in a sense of, You know what? We have achieved the mission this summer. Like, mission accomplished. The Norwegian national team has won a knockout game for the first time ever. They've gone to a tournament and done themselves justice for the first time ever. When you come up against giants like Brazil, like England, you're kind of playing with house money then. So I think they're in a spot where they're mentally quite relaxed, actually, is the sense I'm getting. And that can be an advantage.
On Norwegian talkSPORT, which I believe is Snakkersbrod.
Okay, you've done research. I respect it.
Sorry. Are they talking about how good Haaland is, or are they talking about how terrified they are of Bellingham and Kane? What's the vibe, do you think?
I think it's more euphoria over how well all this has gone. I haven't checked this morning where we're at. Of course, there's a profound respect and admiration for England. There always has been. You know, Norwegian football has always been tied to English football, like a lot of countries, pretty much all countries. That's where we got the sport from. But there's always been because of the geographical proximity, there's always been a steady trickle of coaches who come over to Norway, or at least historically there was. And there's been a trickle the other way of fans going to watch games, of players coming to play in England. Like, the links between Norwegian and English football are really deep. We all, I mean, you might know this, Max. I've probably harped on about this before, but already in the 70s, we had regular scheduled broadcasts of games from the First Division. In the winter months, when our football was on hiatus, the state broadcaster, our version of the BBC, would show a weekly match from the English top division, and we only had one channel at the time. So any Norwegian person who wanted to watch football at the weekend on a Saturday afternoon would be watching they would be watching English football, and it wasn't always great teams. I found one time in 1978 they'd shown Mansfield versus Southampton for reasons that are very hard to put your finger on. So that this led to Norwegians watching these sometimes, and it built. It's why there are so many strange Norwegians who, if you go to any football match in England, you'll bump into Norwegians who are like, "Yeah, I'm a huge Norwich fan." There's a
Norway Torquay United.
There will be, for sure. Do you know what, the Norwegian Macclesfield supporters scene is actually quite lively, and that's not a sentence you expected to hear today. The point I'm going at is that English football is just huge for us. It is kind of our footballing promised land. It always was. So playing against you guys, it is bigger for us than playing Brazil, and it has an added emotional element to it. That's actually really hard to put into words, but I can tell you it's significant.
Does the success of Buda Glimt in the Champions League help you today, Lars, because they're used to big games?
Maybe. I think it's more the fact that we now have Erling and Martin Ødegaard, who have both been there and done it with big clubs. I think that's the thing that gives us this sort of big game experience. I think it really helps that those guys. I mean, we have a Premier League winning, the Premier League winning captain and the striker who won the treble for City and keeps being top scorer. I think those are more like the reference points in the dressing room. I think the guys know that, listen, these guys have been in these big occasions before and they know what to do and they set the standards. I actually think we're kind of blessed in that we have there's a clear hierarchy in this squad, and we have two very clear leaders in Erling Haaland and Martin Ødegaard, and they're so different. I kind of love this. Martin Ødegaard is such a conscientious, eloquent, solid guy. I've said on air before, if he wasn't a footballer, he'd probably be the mayor of a small town or something. This is sort of he is this kind of guy. Whereas, of course, Erling is just a force of nature. He has this unbelievable sort of drive that nobody knows where he comes from. He's just completely unstoppable.
He's also a silly Billy. He's a silly Billy.
Yeah, he's massively one of the lads. But he's a prankster. But he also sets standards. He's the guy who works the hardest at everything on the sporting side of it. And when your superstar behaves like that, then that becomes a form of leadership as well. So between the two of them, we have the talker and Erling, who is Erling. So that works out really well.
And then you have the supporting cast who have actually done, and tonight they need to do that for you guys, don't they? Berg, I think, has been great. Sanderberg has been great. Noosa looks impressive. And then you have this sort of fun right-hand side where you start with Sorloth going, well, I want to be a centre forward, but I guess I'll play right wing. And then Oscar Bob comes on and you go, God, Oscar Bob's good.
Yeah, the Sørloth thing. So it's Norwegian football heritage, Max. You remember in the 90s, one of our tricks that allowed us to do very well was that we decided to stick a tall striker. Yeah, we stuck a tall striker out wide because the fullbacks don't know what to do about that. Like the fullbacks are all used to playing nippy wingers. Then we put Jostein Flo there, and then we had the left back play big diagonals over to him, and that really confused everyone in the 90s when people didn't really do any scouting. Of course, we're not going to surprise anyone now, but we've seen in the tournament that actually the big diagonal out to Sørloth has been quite useful. I expect Nico Raleigh is one of the players who can actually deal with that. You know, he's a tall guy himself. We might have to come up with a different plan for this game. Of the supporting cast, I know our time is limited. I could talk about this for literal hours. I do want to flag up Jan Nyland, the goalkeeper, who is actually without a club after being on the bench for Sevilla all season, who's someone who's got 75 caps, but he's always been doubted by everyone. And he really came up with an incredible performance against Brazil. That's really put him in the spotlight, I think, for bigger clubs as well. That was incredible. But Patrick Berg in midfield, as you mentioned, he plays for Bodø Glimt. He's the captain of Bodø Glimt. He's the third generation Bodø Glimt player. Both his father and grandfather played for Bodø Glimt, and one of his uncles did as well. And he lost his place in the squad going into the tournament to Fredrik Ausnes. And instead of complaining, he just kind of got on with the job and basically won the spot back in the group stage by just showing that he's very good. And then for me, was the man of the match against Ivory Coast, was good against Brazil. So he's a fun story for a guy playing in the Norwegian league who's now in the quarterfinal and is a leading character. Love that for us.
What's your heart say? What's your head say?
You know what? It's very strange because I was quite despondent against Brazil. You know me, Max. I'm not prone to unnecessary levels of optimism. But I kind of think we'll do it today. And I don't know where that comes from. I mean, maybe that's just the sort of, maybe that's the buzz from having beaten Brazil. I could be completely wrong.
Typical Norwegian arrogance in football. It's happened to you.
Listen to him.
The head says 2-0. And that we will probably tire too much in the extra time so that you might get a late goal or beat us on penalties. That's like the rational Racing Post level analysis here that I can provide. I think it'll be goals. I don't think we can park the bus. We cannot park the long ship. It's just not. That's not possible. That's not something we do. So I think we'll have goals because I also think Holland should have the beating of your center halves. So expect goals in the game. And the analysis, the smart version of it is sort of 2-2 in extra time or something. But you know what? I just have a quiet feeling that we might do it. Feel free to check back with me and make fun of me after the game if that doesn't come off.
Where do you stand on pedant who refuses to do the row because factually it's not historically accurate?
I'm here for that.
I mean, I know for a fact that when you saw that headline, you assumed it was me.
I love it. I love the pedantry.
There was someone on social media who tagged me in that and said that this is extreme Lars Sivertsen energy, and I can't really argue with that. It seems like something I would do. But no, come on, the row is fun. These communal acts of celebration, they're not necessarily always up my street, but the row is fun. Everyone likes it. Let's get on with the row.
Okay, Lars. Well, look, I hope you have a nice day until about 4 p.m. your time, and then I hope you have an unnice time, and I will speak to you later. But thanks for coming on, pal.
Anytime. Good luck to all of you.
This is good. Yeah. Ram this down, Lars.
Yeah, there we are. Come on, Lars. Sing along.
Well, come on, you can sing, Lars, or you can just turn off your Zoom if you want. Matt says, please don't have Lars on again. I was feeling confident.
No, we're going to win 4-2. I think we're going to win 4-2. That's what we're going to win.
Yeah, there we go. Lars Sivertsen in a cowboy hat out in Dallas. It is Max and Charlie. Jason, who's on with Jamie? So Jermaine Pennant, is it?
Jermaine Pennant.
Jamie O'Hara. Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant on later after us for 200 hours until kick-off in England, Norway. But there's always time for time difference, and Jeff Peters will host and score in just a second.
Throw it away, gonna blow it away, but I know they can play.
The So Good moment of the day on talkSPORT with Meantime. talkSPORT have teamed up with Meantime to create So Good lager for the World Cup. Available now at all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports bars in the UK. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
I think you're underestimating Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, you can look at the figures and say, yeah, not brilliantly impressive, but every Newcastle fan will tell you he's the heartbeat of their team.
That's Newcastle, though, Jeff. Jeff, we're not Newcastle United.
Oh,
right?
don't,
I'm not saying.
Oh, don't be arrogant. Do not be arrogant, pal.
What do you mean not be arrogant? We're Premier League champions.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't want him at the club.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
Premier
saying
League champions
that I don't
now.
want him to be,
You're Premier League champions now.
exactly.
Let's come on in 12 months' time and find out if you're going to say the same thing if you're not Premier League champions then.
Jeff, of course we're Premier League champions. We just won it a few months ago. Come on, So you got to give us a bit of time. What I'm saying is, good player, but I don't want him to be the marquee signing. If he is the marquee signing, I'm going to be upset.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, shouldn't you be worried? You're talking about marquee signings. Aren't you concerned about financial fair play? Or the equivalent of as it is now? And you busting the rules.
Get rid of everyone you need to get rid of to make it happen. Because if you're spending 60 mil on a player, then that means people need to go as well, right? Get rid of. We've just spoken about Norgard. If you don't like him, get rid of
Trossard,
him.
Gabriel Jesus.
We're hearing Trossard. Get rid of all of them. To be fair, I do like Trossard. And if it was up to me, I'd get rid of Martinelli instead. But get rid of who you need to get rid of. Then we can start talking business. But this better not be the marquee signing.
I do the marquee signing, but I agree that Arsenal need a left winger. Do you know what I mean? Don't spend 80 million on Guimaraes and then you can't afford to go and buy, like, if Barcola's available, for instance, Joel, and he's worth 100. You need a top left winger, don't you, on that side?
100%. And that's what I want to see. I want to see someone. Look, the reality is if Marcus Rashford was available at a good price, I would probably go for him. As long as, it doesn't unbalance the team, because he's a great player. And the reason why I say unbalance the team is because, you heard of the stuff at United before, how he was over there when things weren't going his way or things were a bit down. So I think it would be a good move for us to go in there and get him.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Let's go live to Leicester Forest East service station, because there's always time for time difference, maybe even Cancun. And here's your host and scorer, Jeff Peters.
Hey,
welcome,
Jeff.
You get 22. 22.
Jeff.
20.
Jeff. Funny faces.
Jeff. Yes, Jeff.
I can't hear it. Why is it not very loud?
22 time differences this year. 11 plays 11. Max has won 3 in a row. I'm just keeping the seat warm for Reece, as we have 5 goals from the World Cup this week. And you wafflers have to guess which minute the goals went in. So Max is going to go first. Spain 2, Belgium 1. Which minute did Belgium equalise through Charles de Ketelara, I think is the correct pronunciation.
I love de Ketelara. It's a good player. He scored in the 41st minute.
Is he the weatherman for the team as well? The John Ketelara.
Yeah, John Ketelara. Yeah.
What did you say, Max?
41.
42.
Let's see how that goal went in.
But here's a cross in towards the Ketelara! And Charles de Ketelara has equalised for Belgium.
Love to Nigel.
That goal went in the 41st minute, direct hit for Max. So it's Max 0, Charlie 1. So Charlie, you guessed first on the second goal. Argentina 3, Egypt 2. In which minute did Enzo Fernandez grab that dramatic winner?
87th minute.
Was it in 90 or was it in extra time? Um, 91st minute.
Let's see how that goal went in.
Racing forward to join it. One of them is Martinez. And Enzo Fernandez! Oh, yes!
Incredible stuff from Joe Shannon. That went in the 92nd minute. So Max 1 out onto 1, Charlie 5 out onto 6. Max to go first on goal number 3. France 2, Morocco 0. Ousmane Dembele scoring for France. In which minute? Dembele's goal, Max.
Dembele scored in the... Both in the first half, weren't they?
Morocco gave up. So they gave up.
43. I thought they were really flat, Morocco. I really expected more from them. I mean, France are good, but 43.
I think that's good, Max. If people are enjoying Clocks here by Coldplay, then you can join me on Virgin Radio 2 till 6 this afternoon.
Oh, yeah, good idea. I'm listening.
I'm going to say the 44th minute.
Let's hear how that goal went in.
Real trouble here. Dembele charging on and finding the net. It's beyond Bono.
Yeah, great comms, Joe.
That goal went in the 66th
Oh, it was second
minute.
half. I thought it was second half.
So Max 23 minutes out.
in the second half.
Yeah, they both in the second half, and they all stopped playing. All just shook hands and played
Yeah,
Ring of Roses.
sorry, everyone.
No problem.
Yeah, it was the 60th and 66 minutes. So it is Max 24, Charlie 28. There's 4 minutes in it with 2 to go.
Don't mind it.
Goal number 4, Charlie to go first. Portugal 0, Spain 1. In which minute did Mikel Merino score for Spain? That winning goal, Charlie.
The 87th minute.
91.
Let's hear how that goal went in.
Fabian Ruiz plays it forward. Here's the chance. And there's the goal for Spain from Mikel Merino.
That goal went in. It's a second direct hit for Max, 91st minute.
Well done, Max.
So Max stays on 24, Charlie on 32, because he was 4 minutes out on that. So Max leads by 8 with 1 to go. It's Max to go first on goal 5.
This is a great game of time difference.
Super game of time difference.
Okay.
Max has won three in a row, remember. USA 1, Belgium 4. Malik Tillman. What minute did he score for the United States?
Malik Tillman scored in, I think, I'm going to say, the 17th minute.
18th minute. I need to. Well, I'm trying to get it spot on, so it goes to 0-0. But let's find out what's happening. The 18th minute.
Let's hear how that goal went in.
And he took a deflection, and it's 1-1.
Oh no, a shake of the head from Jeff. I've been so embarrassed myself.
You could have won it.
Could have won
Charlie,
it. Wrong way, Regals.
No, you had a real opportunity.
Could have gone 8 minutes the other way.
Yeah, 31st minute. So if you'd gone 9 minutes higher than Max's guess, then you would have won. So final scores: Max 38, Charlie 45. Max wins 4 in a row and
Very
leads
good, Max.
12-11 this year.
Unbeaten in the World Cup, Max. It's a good sign. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Charlie. I'll be listening to Virgin. You can also listen to Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant. Come on, England. Me and Charlie will be back to celebrate or drown our sorrows tomorrow. Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant next.
Because Infantino, though, Simon, has said, yes, I got a call from Trump on Balogun.
Yeah.
They have allowed themselves to be boxed into a ridiculous corner, haven't they?
Well, it's one thing players cheating on a field, But when the people that are supposed to uphold the game ignore the integrity of their own positions, to damage the authenticity of what people might be watching, and challenge the legitimacy of it by allowing one set of group of people to have an advantage and not on others, you should start worrying about the existential threat that has to the game, and start worrying about what's happening to the football and where it's going next, and what will happen to it next.
Because if the Balogun situation did exist, and we never heard of a call going in from Trump to Infantino, the Kwanzaa 2-match ban
would be less controversial.
Would be much less controversial. It would almost come and go.
But again, we've got to distill it backwards, I think. If you sit there and you say, why is there no process available to